Hello and welcome back to another episode of Podcast 572. As always, I am your host, Kyle, joined by my two friends, Dan and Matt. We're back after another 2 weeks. I've had a lot of life events happen in the last 2 weeks, so I have not had as much time to play stuff, but I am going to in this next week. But I have gotten further in Death Stranding 2 to the point of some pretty significant, I would say, some pretty significant plot developments in that game. Introductions to major characters, like I know who Ellie Fanning's character is now. That I literally think the chick's name is Rainy, but the chick that can make it rain. I've met her. They gave me the backstory of Tarman. I know why he has that little tar kitty cat now. Which is actually a pretty.
You met Dollman yet?
I have So Dollman is my favorite character in that game, but I don't have his backstory yet. The only thing they've told me is that because of the Death Stranding stuff, basically his soul got trapped into this doll's body. So kind of like Chucky, but he's not a serial killer. At least I would say that I know of yet. Maybe that's a twist in the game that I would be into. He's cool. Like, so you carry him around with you everywhere you go. And then like if you want to, like, you get to an area, if you're doing stealth and you want to kind of peek it out, you can throw him up in the air and he'll levitate. And then you use him to like kind of seek out and like mark enemies. And then
so
he'll
like
just
the
come back to you.
in Assassin's Creed.
Kind of. That's except he's a doll and he talks to you. Like if you go back to your room, like you can just have conversations with him. Like he'll just talk to you about random shit, or he'll be like, "You look really tired, Sam. You should probably get some sleep." Or like one dude gave me Moby Dick to read, and I went to pick it up. And he's like, "Let's talk about Moby Dick," and he just goes on some long expose about that book. So, but he seems like a pretty cool character. But I got to like the first like real major cutscene. You've probably seen it in the trailers and stuff where they have the guy that looks like Solid Snake and all the like skull people around him. And then they have all those fireworks going off in the background. Like, I don't know how they made that sequence work without dropping any kind of frame rate. But that is one of the most that might be the most impressive sequence I've seen in a game this generation. The fact that it works flawlessly throughout that, because that whole scene, like after you're walking through and you're walking through fire and shit and you're shooting things and it turns into a big boss battle and it never drops frame rate at all. Like it just works flawlessly and it's crazy. So, and from my understanding, I'm playing on a pro. My friend borrowed my other PlayStation. He said the same thing. Like he had no issues with that part. It just ran flawlessly. So that game also, I think I've said in the past, but it has no load times. When you hit start to reload like your save, you are just in the game immediately. But I'm still really enjoying it. Like it's giving me more of the story as I progress in it, doing the different deliveries and stuff. And like I said, as I continue to say, like it is Death Stranding 1, but more focused. And I think that's what people maybe why people appreciate this one more. I don't know. I have a problem with that at the same time because like it's the same fucking game at the same time. So I don't get this revisionist history that's going on right now where people 6 years ago, like I hate Death Stranding, but they love this one because not that much about the formula has changed. You're still delivering packages. Like it still has this weird, like, what's that Kevin Costner movie? The Postman. Like it still has vibes of that.
Shit.
Yeah. Like it still gives me that vibe at times. So, but I'm still enjoying it. I plan this week to like really heavily focus on finishing that game. So, because I have the opportunity this week, so I'm going to do it. I played more Tony Hawk. Don't really have much more to say about it. It's a great remaster. I have played the new levels now, That water park level is incredible. And like, I think it's been mentioned by other people I've seen, but like if Iron Galaxy, because that's who made this one, if they wanted to make a new Tony Hawk, I say let those dudes make it, because these new levels they put in they really feel like old levels. But the water park is the standout one. Like it just feels like a new Tony Hawk level, but at the same time, it feels like one you would have played 20 years ago. So
yeah, that's cool.
So that game continues to be a treat. And then the only other thing that I've played, and it'll lead into what you played, you and I have dived into the world of Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Yeah,
which we paid a hot $10 for. Right. So, and like. Again, like you and I are just going to trophy boost that game and be done with it, because it's one of those. It's Ilphonic, so it's like Friday the 13th. Yeah. It's one of those, and it's exactly what that is. Like it is painstakingly it is painstakingly a love letter to that movie in almost every way, but it is one of those games. It
tries very hard to like do the subject matter justice, and I think it does for the most part. But
I think it does.
Yeah, it's literally just
Friday the 13th just reskinned. Yeah,
it's. I still think like the whole 3 versus 7 thing was a bad idea.
I do too.
Obviously, like we haven't played that version of it, and we never will. But
like, I don't think
so many people.
I don't think the pool of people playing that game. It does have crossplay, but I cannot imagine that's a large audience at this point, because it suffers from the same problem that we say every time they announce one of these: is there's already a game that does that has all these other characters in it. You should have just put them there and licensed them. So. But it's again for $10 and a game to just trophy boost. We were saying
it the whole time we were playing it. Like it plays well, it looks good. Mm-hmm. It is exactly what it is, but it's.
I think if you were given the right context of like finding a group of people to play it legitimately, you probably have a good time. Because when Friday the 13th came out, I played a lot of that game when it came out, and I enjoyed my time with it. But it was literally like that game had a 2-month shelf life. And then it died off because those people got tired of it and went back to Dead by Daylight.
I will say, too, that comparatively to like Friday the 13th, this game doesn't feel as unbalanced.
No, it doesn't.
Where the clowns are like too hard to defeat. Like Jason was nearly impossible. Like if you weren't working together with almost everyone, it couldn't be done.
Most matches I would play of that game, Jason would win.
Right. This, just from playing as the clown and playing as the human and seeing like they actually give the humans a lot better chances to like fight back and actually like kill a clown.
Yeah.
I mean, you still respawn, but it still takes them out of the match long enough where like it makes a dent in the game.
It does. And like,
so it sounds like it has similarities to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that game, because it feels like. Yeah,
I don't think that was from the same people. It could have been, but it's the same style. Then you can throw that Evil Dead game in there too. Like it's the same thing. Where like it's a good idea on paper, but there's already a game that has a very large audience of people that play it. So
yeah, and like Dead by Daylight, it just reminds me more so of like if that game could have. I guess maybe they didn't think it would ever be as popular as it ended up becoming. I don't think they did. But if they could have figured out a better way to license that stuff and keep the licenses,
that's the other problem.
That game would have. I mean, it's still big, but that game could have been huge. It would have been the one stop for everything for this, and you wouldn't have gotten these like Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, Texas Chainsaw. All these ones that give it a shot are. By all accounts, okay, but they never have a player base. They die.
And I don't think that game really took off until they started making the licensing deals. Because originally it wasn't it was an original like character like killer that they created. So
yeah, and then when they started to add like Ghostface and stuff, like I think is when that game started to kind of blow up,
to kind of really pick up. Yeah, and then like the people forget too, like they did for a while have a bunch of Evil Dead stuff in that game, and then they had to de-license it all because that game they had a whole thing of Stranger Things stuff too that got unlicensed after a while. So. And that's the biggest problem with that game is like they do a lot of cool things, but then when they get ripped from the license, it's gone. Like it's over.
Yeah, and it is just gone because they can't do it anymore.
So, but again, I think for $10 for a game that you want to boost with somebody to get trophies, it's not. It doesn't seem like it's overly hard. It just takes a little bit of time for Killer Klowns.
Yeah, the only problem is we're going to need one more person for a couple of the trophies.
One of them, yeah.
There's like 3 or 4. You need 2 human players for.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure that out, but I don't think it should be that big a deal.
I will say this. I think it's a better game than Saints Row 3, the remaster.
Everything is. I'm dreading
that's a very easy. There you go. Yeah, that's very easy.
Game is fucking terrible.
Nightmare. I will push it over to you then. What else have you been playing?
So we did that. I did start playing that New World Eternum game, which is that free Amazon MMO because it became free on PlayStation Plus Extra and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just it's another one of those like open world games where you're running around doing pretty simple quests and there's gathering and hunting and all that kind of stuff. I will say it kind of scratches that like MMO itch for me because it's free. I don't foresee a scenario where I'm going to have to pay to do most of the stuff in the game. But since it is crossplay, it's a little strange because obviously it's not that popular of an MMO, but there's so many people playing it on PC that like it's just you're just bombarded with like PC guys like spamming the chat box and like can't turn the chat box off. And they're all talking about stuff that I have no clue what the fuck they're talking about because I'm still in like maybe the second town. But I will say, like, so far, I haven't had to like team up with anyone. You just kind of run around to do stuff. And
does it have a decent character creator?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's you can make yourself look pretty much anything in any way, and then you pick different weapons. So like, I have a rapier and a musket, which is kind of cool. So like, you have a gun, and you can run around and shoot stuff from afar, and then have skills for up close. You don't have to buy ammo or any of that kind of shit and manage that stuff, which is great.
Okay.
Basically, if you see a tree, you can probably chop it down. If you see a rock, you can mine it. It's very like everything is harvestable or craftable, which is kind of cool.
Neat. Okay.
The gameplay is pretty simple and it's not difficult, which is good. You're just kind of exploring and doing different objectives to do stuff. I've been playing it for a couple hours every couple nights, and it scratches that kind of an itch for
sure.
You know, it's never going to be as good as Final Fantasy 14 is because not much can be
at this point.
But it's definitely filling kind of that void, and it's free. Which is good. So I'll play more of that, and I'll probably play that game until it inevitably gets ripped off of PlayStation
that
Extra
premium thing, or it gets to a point where it kind of breaks it.
But I think that game normally is like $50. So for them to give it away for free is I get on Amazon's part, it's probably just to try to boost player count and hope that these people buy real stuff. And then, take it off in 3 or 4 months and then just be done with it.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of that. Along another free game that came out on there, and I just wanted to try because I wanted to see what it was that Bluey game.
Okay.
Because when they announced it, I think that game's like a year old now.
It's about a year old.
Yeah, when they announced it, I was kind of like, oh, that's an interesting thing for like a kid's game or whatever. I think, Matt, didn't you play it back when it came out or whatever?
Me and my youngest, we still play it.
Yeah, it's, you know what? It's not really a game. It's very like bare bones, like you would if you like the show. My son's messed around with it and he kind of likes it just because he can kind of mess around and find stuff or whatever. But it has, and I get it because it's a kid's game. It has almost no content, like at all.
Okay,
it's crazy. Like if this game had been $20 when it came out, perfectly fine. Sure. But it was like $40.
I think it was a $40 or $50 game. Yeah.
That to me, having played it, is crazy.
I would have never paid full price for that game.
Nobody should. No. You can finish it in under 2 hours.
Oh, it's one of those.
And I'm talking like finish it, like do
all the trophies and stuff.
Yeah. Everything. It's fun for like kids to mess around, but even then, I don't feel like there's nearly enough stuff in it. So
considering how popular that show is,
like that's the kind of game where, like, if they had put even half as much, just a little bit more into it, I could have had so much more stuff to explore or run around or do other things. There's like part of it is like the mini games or games they play in the show. There's only 4 of them. They play a ton of games in the show.
They probably play more than 4
games. They play
a
lot of stuff in the show. There's only 4 of these. So it's kind of weird.
Sure.
A little bit of a, I don't want to say it's a letdown, but it's insane to me that they tried to charge people $40 for that at some point.
No, I get it.
I've played more, Borderlands 3 because I'm running out of time to get to Borderlands 4.
You are actually running out of time at this point.
We got the platinum. That's done. Finished the first DLC. That's done. We're in the second DLC.
Is it just all nonsense?
It's just I think I talked about this last time we talked about it, but my tagline for that game is, man, it just keeps going. Because every fucking thing you do, every time somebody has to drop, you have to interact with an NPC, man, they just fucking keep going. They talk for minutes, 4 or 5 minutes. They're always talking. And sometimes you don't get to do the next thing until they're done talking. So you literally just sit there and you wait for this exposition for content I could really give a shit about. Like, this second one is far better than the first one in terms of DLC stuff. But it's still it's just too much for...
How many DLCs are there total?
Oh, fuck. I think it got to 6 by the end because they added that director's cut stuff and the designer's cut stuff. And one of them, I think, is arena battle stuff. And then one, it's just, man, you're just chugging through this stuff at a certain point. But almost done. And then we'll be ready for Borderlands 4, the Timekeeper, the boss. I laugh. It's just the Timekeeper. They keep talking about that. It's just another made up bullshit for the Borderlands universe.
Wonderful.
Sure. So that's done. What else did I play? I started playing Arcade Paradise again because it's on the extra thing too.
Yeah.
And I played the PS5 version. I wanted to go back and get the platinum, and I have 2 more arcade games to beat, but these 2 are some of the worst in terms of what you have to do to finish them. I don't know if you've played a lot of the game, Kyle. There's that one game called Line Terror. For that game. Where it's there's a thing bouncing around the box and you got to draw the box. You have to finish level 3. That game sucks.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's just unforgiving. It's so random. You can't almost not control what happens. I can get to the 3rd level and then I just get fucked.
It reminds me of in Bully when there's certain arcade games you have to play to get trophies in that game. And that's very annoying. And they're not the best design.
No, this one's not good. And then the other one I have to finish is that Racer Chaser game, which is Pac-Man meets GTA.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The game is broken because the cops in the game are faster than you are. Mm-hmm. So if they're following you, you lose. Yeah. They have no discernible, Pac-Man they have patterns. This game has no patterns. They do whatever they want. They'll hit a corner and they'll turn around. They'll be in front of you. They'll turn around. They're looks like they're coded specifically to just go to you at all times. Because that game has an element where if you get hit, you get out of your car and you can run to find another car.
Sure,
but there's more cops than there are cop cars chasing you. It's so busted. And you have to beat each level, I think, 1 time. I think I've beaten 1 of them because it's frustrating. So maybe I'll get that at some point. But then I downloaded the PS4 version and I started over. So now I'm doing some laundry. Cleaning up trash and gum. It's so good.
Ooh.
I would love for a second one. They have to make a second one.
It would be good. That's what kind of kicked me over to finding all those games on PC. So
and all you have to do is make Arcade Paradise 2, and you open up a new thing, and there's new arcade machines. And it's bigger and it's more customizable. And
I don't think I would have liked that Laundry Store Simulator game as much.
No.
If I had not played Arcade Paradise.
What if Arcade Paradise 2? At first you start and you're like a burger stand or something. You know what I mean? So you're making burgers, and then you start having an arcade inside. So then instead of doing laundry, you're making burgers for people. You have to run over and make a burger and hand it off or whatever. And then there's just more arcade machines, more ways to design the layout and stuff like that. God, I want another one of that game so bad. That game's so good.
Pretty cool.
Such a great time killer. That's why I saw it was free and I'm like, yeah, I could dump another 30 hours into putting an arcade together again, no problem. So there's that. And then just little stuff here and there. I told you I didn't want to do it, so I made my computer do it. But in Final Fantasy 9, there's one trophy where you have to jump rope 1,000 times. And I tried to do it legit, and that game sucks. So some guy made a script where you can just make your computer do it. So I fucked around with that for a little bit and changed some values, and eventually got to 1,100 jumps, and I got the trophy. So I don't have to do that legitimately anymore.
Look at you.
I tried doing it legitimately. I think I got to like 60 something, and I told Kyle, like, if it was only get to 100, I could have done it myself. But 1,000 is
ridiculous.
Crazy.
Too much.
Yeah. Because the timing of it changes the further you get into it.
It does.
Yeah, it becomes faster, and then like it becomes double jumps, and there's like no.
How rare is that trophy?
It's not crazy rare because this thing exists. Okay. But it's pretty. The guy who made it now made it very easy to do. So it's not that rare. But in terms of like doing it, it's awful. So I don't have to do it anymore. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
What are you, Matt?
So I tried out that Descenders next game on Game Pass. They label it as a game preview right now.
Okay.
It's bad. At this point, if you're on Game Pass, just play Tony Hawk, because I think that's a way better game than this one is.
That's what it is? It's like a BMX game or something?
It's a snowboarding game.
Snowboarding, okay.
Yeah. I've only really played through the tutorial and like one or the first two stages, like the first two little runs, but I can't get past it anymore.
Okay.
It's too much. It's very clunky, and the controls don't really control well, so it's all in all just bad.
Yeah.
I also then went on like a Game Pass downloading spree, and I saw they had that game My Friendly Neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I told you a little bit about it, but it's essentially like, I don't really know what's happening because it's not like a Five Nights at Freddy type thing. You're like trying to like solve puzzles. I don't really know what's happening. Like,
all right,
it just kind of drops you in, and like right now I'm just trying to find keys to open doors so I can get through things. The only thing I do know is that there's a big bird that you have to watch out for. And I finally came across it one time, and I just kind of snuck by it, and I was safe right there. But like,
is it supposed to be modeled after like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or something?
I would say more Sesame Street related.
Sesame Street? Okay.
Yeah. It's weird enough to keep me interested, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to go back to it this week, because I got to the point now where I have like a little gun. So I'm trying to play through it to see what exactly you kind of do, what's happening with it, really, because I don't know what is happening to like get you to what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with it because it didn't really give me anything to go. So it's kind of like I have to figure it out on my own. But in the same instance, it's just a little weird how they do things. It's like, because you can't kill these Muppets. What you have to do is you have to find duct tape. And after you knock them down, you have to duct tape them to the floor.
That's okay. That's weird.
So, but once you duct tape them, they can't get back up. So it's just really weird. I also then started Silent Hill 2. I have not gotten very far into it, but I did start it. And I just made it out of the graveyard, and I'm in the town.
Where you meet that lady or whatever?
Yeah. I met her at the graveyard, and now I'm in the town,
yeah,
like kind of like looking through stuff. And then I started that game Wu Chang Fallen Feathers this morning.
Yeah, that was kind of the bigger release this week that a lot of people were talking about. Is it Souls-like or?
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I feel like it's Souls-like to the point where I'm probably not going to go back to it because those games irritate me, and so I can't get into them like I want to. But the gist of the story is there's some kind of disease, and once you contract the disease, your body starts growing feathers.
Okay.
But I met one guy now who's like, even though they say it's like a curse, you can actually harness this power for good. And now you're like trying to figure out what to do with it, essentially. Maybe I'll try to play a little more of it, but I don't know. Most of these Souls games, because they're just so challenging, I just can't get into them because it's like you have to like literally dodge everything at the exact time or you're dead. And it's like, that's just a little too much for me, man. I got kids. I don't need to show my kids anger when I'm playing games. And then I randomly started Pokemon Sword. Because I had to switch, and I was like, well, you know what? I need to play something. I need to put something in the Switch and start working through this backlog. And Pokemon Sword was just right there, so I just started running through it, and I've actually enjoyed that more than I enjoyed Arceus when I did have that.
Yeah.
So
it's more traditional.
Yeah, I feel like it is not only just traditional. I like
runs better.
Yeah, it just runs a lot better. So, but yeah, that's me, and that's things I've been playing the past 2 weeks. So
I wonder. I haven't seen if anybody's tried playing that Arceus game on a Switch 2, if it runs better just by default.
I would assume so.
If the system just brute forces it into running,
not better, because then how can they resell it to you later?
True.
True. Well, they're getting ready to launch. What was the new one that comes out this fall? It's like a ZA or something.
Pokemon Legends ZA.
Okay.
You saw that they're doing a bundle with that, but again, it's not a special Switch. It's just a code in the box.
It's just the Switch, and you save $30, kind of like Mario Kart. I mean, at the same time, I think it's smart to continue to offer a bundle for people. But
and it shows that they are actively going to have more consoles for holiday, because they're going to need, even though they're $500, and I think anybody who really, really wanted one got one already. At Christmas, they're going to sell a shitload.
I think they are, because at that point, you're going to have the kids that have been begging for Mario Kart all year.
Christmas,
yeah. Right? I mean, I'll say
that's a whole other
brief Walmart update, because I was at Walmart yesterday. At least the one by me. They didn't have any Switch 2s. A lot of PlayStations, a lot of digital PlayStations, and then the Drive. They actually had the Drives in stock, though, so I'll give them credit for that.
I was at one today, and I saw a bunch of systems and Drives. Yeah,
and then of course the Xbox section is just pathetic.
Almost gone.
Almost gone. It's like one 4-foot section that's like half, like one case, like one very small case that has a very little amount in it, and then a bunch of digital currency cards.
It also, the one by me has the case, but it's also got whatever PC games they have.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
The bottom 2 rows are just PC things.
Shit PC
and then
games?
There's a copy of last year's college football for $7.
That's good.
I will say it's weird that the Switch. So at my store, the Switch 2 has a case, and the Switch games have a case. They're separate cases.
It's the same for me.
And the Switch 2 is bizarre because it has 2 rows and then nothing. Just nothing else.
Same.
It's just, it looks just completely empty. And
it's like they couldn't just stretch those games out. I mean, you're going to see 6 facings of one game, but
but the one it was something. They had everything except Donkey Kong. Both slots were gone.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing for mine is that, and then obviously no systems. So
no, I haven't seen one in the wild, just sitting there yet. But
since launch weekend, I haven't seen
I saw a couple of things online where people were posting hey, this Walmart had 8 of them when I was there.
Yeah,
but that must have been they got them that day or something.
They got them that fast. So that's the only retail store I was in this weekend. But
so Pokemon ZA is going to be available on Switch 1 too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a cross-gen game, but they're of course selling, a Switch 1 and a Switch 2 version.
And I think that's just because that game was announced a long time ago, a long time ago, a couple of years.
They're kind of forced because otherwise,
it's the same thing as Metroid Prime. It's we announced Metroid Prime 4
so long
years ago. That's to dump it.
Yeah.
And not only that, not that they couldn't just be hey, sorry, production moved to Switch 2. But they put so much time into just making it for Switch. It's probably going to sell more copies if they just put it on both. So why?
I agree with that. We can kick over to news. There's been some stuff, but it's not been. It hasn't been as crazy of a 2 weeks as we've had. No huge earth-shattering. like the Microsoft, massive layoffs last time. But speaking of layoffs, Virtuos, the developer behind the recent Oblivion remaster, as well as the upcoming Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, has been hit with layoffs. I think they were laying off about 100 people. So another developer losing people.
Release a successful game, fire people. The cycle continues.
Well, and also Metal Gear Solid has probably been done for a while.
I think I just saw that it went gold like a week ago, but there can't have been much that wasn't done before.
Yeah. Remedy is going to make some big changes to FBC Firebreak after seeing many players come into the game and leave within the first hour. I think that's smart. And I mean, we've talked about if you stick with that game and you have a good group and learn the ins and outs of those maps, the game can be a fun time. It just needs more content.
Yeah, and it definitely is the kind of thing where within the first hour it makes sense, because in the first hour you're not playing on a hard difficulty.
You're not.
And you're not encountering those anomaly things we fought where it froze everybody or it made shit go crazy. Those don't exist in the first hour. So if you're not willing to stick it out after that point, you're not going to get to what is the actual gameplay loop. But that is the gameplay loop.
Yeah, so I feel like that game.
I haven't played it since the three of us played it last.
No, I haven't either. I feel like that game could benefit from having a clear-cut tutorial for sure, but some of the fun is just kind of figuring that shit out in that game. So
a little bit, little bit. As we were playing, because I had played it a couple times before you did, I had to teach you hey, you got to shoot these sprinklers.
That take a lot of showers. Yeah,
you got to drink from this faucet. You got to do this, and if you see this, you got to kind of do this. So you definitely do have to learn how the game works, and all of the levels are, even though you're kind of doing the same objectives, they are different enough that you can actively like some levels and actively hate some other ones.
That goop level is very memorable.
The goop level is, I actually like that level because it's a pain in the ass. Because it's very memorable. It gets crazy as fuck as it goes.
Yeah, I like the Post-it note one too.
The Post-it note one is fun just because the enemy type are fun. I don't like the radiation egg level.
You're talking about where it shoots through the fucking
and you get sick if you hold the thing, and it's
probably the weakest level of the game. Yeah. But they need to add more levels.
But even the first one, the fire level where you got to put the stuff in the furnace is fun because it's okay, you guys load the barrels and pass them over. I'll put them in, and then we got to come back. And so it has enough variety, but it's we talked about. There's 6 levels. It needs at least 5 more.
It does.
And if they were smart, they would have had 2 ready to go a month after. They would have been bam, here's 2 more. But it doesn't, fixing it people are jumping out after an hour. Yeah, but they're going to jump out after an hour no matter how much content's in the game.
For sure. This came out of the blue, out of nowhere, but Microsoft just completely shut down the sale of digital TV shows and movies. The day they announced it, it was done. So this was on the 18th, but literally I woke up that morning and was just hey, we're not doing this anymore. It's all done.
It was weird because they normally are hey, starting October 1st.
Yeah,
this is going to be done. No, it's today. And
it's already happened. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't buy anything. Stuff you have, you cannot transfer it anywhere. Mm-hmm. You can still watch it here for as long as you have this account. And when this account's gone, it's over.
I should boot up my 360 and see if I can still access
watch the Guild
free season of the Guild they gave me or whatever. Yeah, right.
You mean the thing that's just on YouTube and you can watch anytime you want?
Right. Yeah. But it just was really bizarre. But you have to imagine, with all these other digital storefronts, and I think at this point, for people that purchase movies and TV shows that way, each person has picked their own storefront they're going to stick with.
Well, and the other problem with that stuff is when that became a thing, when Microsoft had their own TV, there was that, but then there was also the Disney thing had one and Apple had one, and it's Apple had one. Some of them work together, but some of them don't, and you can load this one in, and then you'd buy a Blu-ray that had a code in it, so you could add it to your account.
Voodoo.
Yeah, it's just I was never really sure what service I owned any of this shit on, because I would try to I'd buy the MCU movies and use the code so that I could put it on my phone, but then it would be in a different app, and it was what even is it a part of? So it just became, I'm not even going to fucking bother with this stuff. I'm just going to stream shit. I don't need to buy anything.
That reminds me of the novelty of whenever they put out the video iPod. They made a big deal about that. I have this on my shelf behind me. Actually, I made it a big deal to put Scarface on my iPod.
I had a 160 gig like video iPod.
That was what I bought. That was the last one.
It was kick ass. Like that thing was awesome.
It was great.
It was a beefy little machine, and it could play stuff. I think I was putting like at the time. This would have been 20 years ago almost.
Sure.
I put on like seasons of like Naruto and stuff like that.
Okay.
And that was, that dates it a little bit, but yeah, that was 20 minutes ago or 20 years ago.
Yeah, and like I said, for me, like I think when those came out, because it wasn't the big thing, it was like one of the Pirates movies or something.
That was
like I vividly remember the picture of the iPod box was like Jack Sparrow. So so I think that came like preloaded on all of them. But I remember going through all of the hassle to like rip this. It probably would have been a DVD copy of Scarface and like do all this to put it on that iPod for maybe something I watched half of once on a car trip.
Yeah, I don't know when I ever actually used it.
Who would do this today? Like I was thinking about like this like little 3-inch screen. I'm going to watch Scarface.
Right. And it's completely different now when like, you have an iPhone Max where watching something on it is perfectly fine. Yeah. But yeah, man, those iPod video things were
crazy.
Cool idea, but it was just kind of useless.
The next one we have here, I actually have an email, so I'll read the email here. Let me pull it up here. Okay. Comes to us from John from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Howdy, guys. Do you believe even for a second this rumor about Sony engineers are working with Rockstar developers to make sure GTA 6 is 60 frames per second on PS5 Pro? This has some real, my uncle works for Nintendo vibes to it. I can believe that the system could do it, but not that they are directly working with them to assure that it does. So that was the rumor that came out this past weekend. That Rockstar is working directly with Sony engineers to achieve 60 frames per second on PS5 Pro for GTA 6. It's weird.
They probably have a contact they talk back and forth with. And damn well Sony wants to make GTA
like it's an exclusive.
They want to pretend that it is one because they always have.
They always have.
This is the place you are supposed to play GTA.
They always have, and they've always advertised it as like this is a PlayStation game.
Mm-hmm. So for sure.
The only one where they lost that for was GTA 4.
Right, and that's because Peter Moore came out with a tattoo on his arm.
Yeah, exactly.
But part of me thinks that like they clearly talk back and forth with someone, but GTA 6 has been in development for so long at this point that I think they kind of know what it is going to be by the time it comes out. And I think so. And as a game that's going to exist for a decade, maybe longer.
Probably.
Maybe most of us won't be alive for when GTA 7 comes out. That game's always going to be getting improvements and upgrades and new versions. And like, don't fool yourself. When the PS6 launches, there's going to be GTA 6 for PS6. It just is.
Oh, absolutely. And like, if that rumor is true and Microsoft does put out a, this new hybrid console, whatever, at the end of next year, there'll be a version for that. So that's just that is how that always works.
Resell you the same game multiple times.
Yeah. And that's what they'll do. Like, I'd be surprised if they had an upgrade path. Let's put it that way.
Right. Well, and that's like that Red Dead Redemption 2 PS5 port is picking up steam again.
I saw that was picking up steam. There was one other one too. I saw that, and I can't remember now. That was picking up steam over the weekend.
I'm still a little confused as to why they haven't yet. It's
bizarre,
very long time.
And the fact that they went back and produced like even if it's bare bones and the minimum, a Red Dead 1 port,
right? The PS5 also has been out for 5 years, and there's no native version of Red Dead 2.
Red Dead 2, it's a little crazy.
Which Red Dead 2 natively could be insane on that system.
Game. Yeah,
but I think it would be a good maybe they're waiting to get GTA 6 out so that because they're going to use that engine or that tech to make the native version of Red Dead 2 or something like that, where there's some kind of tech they have for it. But do I think they're actively working with Sony to do it? Probably not, but they have somebody there who, and I'm sure Sony is.
I would assume what do you every need developer has some sort of contact with both companies when it comes to this stuff.
And Sony is actively asking them, what do you want from us to be able to make this happen? And how can we how can when the marketing for that really starts to ramp up, next year when that game is released, it's going to have a lot of PlayStation logos on it. A lot.
Let me put this. Do you think that they pay to have a Super Bowl commercial for GTA 6? They don't have to.
My thought is like, do you need to?
They don't have to.
That game was going to. So what is GTA 5 sold? I think we looked up. It's over 100 million, right?
Over 100 million easily.
And it's been.
I thought it was closer to 150.
And it's got to be. But GTA 5's also been out since 2000.
All you have to do is say to the average
12?
person, say the words "new Grand Theft Auto," and they're going to run to the store.
It's going to be and especially with digital.
Run to their digital store is what I mean.
Yeah,
but
it's going to be the most pre-ordered, pre-installed game app. And it's not even going to be close to the second thing. So, do you have to advertise it during the Super Bowl? No, because your console advertises it. When I turn on my system, it's going to be the splash page for the home thing. GTA 6 available now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sony knows.
It says it's surpassed 215 million copies as of May 2025.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I mean, they've sold it on 3 different systems or generations of systems. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's the big thing we always forget.
But when your console can advertise it, do you need to pay $100 million for one Super Bowl spot? No, just make commercials. You know when you should do the commercials? During the NBA playoffs, because that's around the time the game is supposed to come out.
Come out anyway.
Yep. Yeah. That's Agreed. More. I think that's a better choice.
That'd be smarter.
Probably. Actually, I have this game. I bought this game on Steam at some point, and I have yet to check it out. I should, because it's still in early access. But No Rest for the Wicked is another game that is going to skip Xbox due to economic reasons. Just another we talked about it, I think, last time. But Final Fantasy 16 only moved 2,200 copies in its first week. People aren't buying it because,
I can't tell you a legitimate reason for anyone to release a game on Xbox anymore.
Unless it's in Game Pass.
Unless it's a Game Pass game. There's just not. You don't know that you're going to get any sales.
You're not going to make anything.
No.
So if Final Fantasy 16 is not the best example to use.
It's a terrible example because that game was been out for a very long time. Been out for
2 years, and the people that wanted to play it went out and got a PlayStation 5 to play it.
The only way to find a game that would maybe comparable would be if they released Remake Part 3 at the same time.
Yeah, I'd be very interesting to see.
I think the Sony version would still destroy it.
Absolutely. And
I can't wait for
those people bought a PS5.
I can't wait for the Square complaining of, well, this game didn't sell as much as Part 2. It's yeah, I know.
Oh, I absolutely. But I look forward to that.
Why release anything on Xbox? The only 2 things people should be concerned about anymore are PC and PlayStation. And if you want to do a third version of something, make a Switch 2 version of it for whatever.
Yeah. Agreed. Out of the blue, this was this week. And the funny thing is, I read a rumor about it the day before.
It looks wild.
And it looks wild. I'm super all in on it. It's from Saber Interactive. The people that made the recent Warhammer game, are making a new Hellraiser game. And it's not, because at first when I saw the rumor the day before, and I was like, man, I really hope it's not going to be one of these asynchronous multiplayer things where, one person controls Pinhead and everybody else is running. That's what I picture.
Hellraisers.
Yeah, right.
Space. Yeah.
No, this is a new single player game. The trailer is very not safe for work. You got people fucking in this trailer, nudity. It shocked me when I clicked the trailers. I was like,
they were straight up right.
Hellraiser is, it reminded me, I'm like, Hellraiser is very fucking R-rated. So people getting split in half in that trailer. But the game looks fantastic. What they showed a little bit of what it's going to be. But it's a first-person shooter. It's a first-person game, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But it looks awesome. So they got I'm not going to remember the guy's name, but they got him back to voice Pinhead, which is cool. The Cenobites they all look good. They're all there. They're all represented. So they say, in the trailer, they say the iconic line, we have such sights to show you. I was very happy with this, but it was wild. It came out of the blue. Because like I said, I literally read that rumor the night before and was like, oh, it's going to be some shitty multiplayer thing. And then was surprised. No, they're making a single player game. So
yeah, it was a weird thing.
That's probably
that
the
was
right direction to go.
Was hidden. Like how did that not?
It's not this, so it's not this year. It comes out next year.
I know, but even still, like it was.
I don't know.
I had no clue that something like that was happening until it happened.
I literally read the rumor the night before, and I was like, "Oh, we'll probably see this like next E3 or something." And literally woke up the next day. Hey, here's a trailer for it. It does have a pretty expensive collector's edition that has the little puzzle box, which I thought was cool, but it's not $230 cool. It reminds me of that meme that I sent you a while ago where it was like the whatever that thing's called, the Lamarin configuration, and it's working. This guy was selling it for like $100. That made me laugh. But yeah, it does have a collector's edition. It looks cool. I can't wait to see more of it like in action. So, but that is definitely high on my interest list now. In the same breath, Supermassive Games, not surprising, they were hit with layoffs. Between having to quote unquote redo Until Dawn, which that remake did not sell at all. In fact, I should have mentioned when we were talking about things at Walmart, that game is the PS5 version hitting the bargain bin at my store.
How is it really?
Was already at 15.
You know what I saw today for PS5 I almost got it was Assassin's Creed Mirage was down to like 20. Okay.
Not bad.
All the Resident Evil remakes are 20. I was like, man, maybe I should, but I have so much other shit to play. Like I passed.
But their next game, Directive 8020, which looks cool, been delayed till sometime next year. So again, layoffs keep going around in the industry.
Yeah.
So, Splitgate, this makes me laugh.
This is fucking karma.
Splitgate 2, like it's a mess, but it's karma. So a couple weeks ago, the Splitgate, the CEO of that company wore that, make FPS shooters great again hat.
I think it was just make FPS great again.
Or something like that.
Came out was a dumbass on stage. Like
and then that game took like a massive nosedive. Well, now apparently because of it, they are releasing this game as a 1.0. So they're going back to beta. They're going to do a massive rework on the game. They've laid off some people because the game's not doing well. And they're also shutting down the original game now, which that piece of the puzzle was probably already happening in the background anyways, because they're not going to run the original game concurrent with the new one. But it's crazy to me to launch this game and then revert it back. Go, no, we're just going back to beta. So you don't see that every day.
I mean, it is kind of a theme with some of these, like Multiverses did it, and
that one was crazy too. I mean, that doesn't exist now.
Game doesn't exist anymore. So like this isn't necessarily mean like this is going to work out for him. So
no, not at all.
Yeah.
I actually would put this under surprising because given all the bullshit that Microsoft has done lately and seemingly pretty anti-consumer, they still have the Series X at $600 somehow. They have decided to U-turn on the $80 price point for games, starting with the Outer Worlds 2, which will be brought back to $70. If people have pre-ordered it digitally, they're reimbursing, that $10 or whatever. Obviously, if you went, plunked $5 down for it at GameStop, that isn't going to really make a difference there other than you'll pay less. But surprising considering all the things that they've done lately that they U-turned on this. But I have to imagine the big part of it was they looked at the PlayStation pre-order numbers and they were not near what they want.
I don't think this is going to help.
You don't think it's going to help the game?
Not that much. Not enough where it matters anymore. Like, as someone who loves the first one, wants to play the second one, I'm not paying you $70 for this shit.
No, I wasn't either. Like,
I for sure as hell wasn't paying. Maybe at 70 before, I would have been like, okay, that's the cost of games now. But then he pulled this $80 shit, and that was a definite no. And now you're backtracking and putting it back down to 70. Nah, it's still a definite no, homie. I'll wait till it's 40 because you're not going to sell any copies of it.
It's not, I don't think it's going to do nearly as well as they think. Like,
No.
obviously, people will play it through Game Pass.
You think that studio's doomed when this doesn't sell?
It's Obsidian, so I don't. That's one I look and go.
There's definitely going to be layoffs.
Yeah, people are getting fired.
I think it'll be hit with layoffs, but I don't think it's a complete studio closure. And I think that they have hands in other things. Like if the rumors, I didn't put any of that in the news because it's more rumors than it is like news. But if any of those rumors going around about like a new Fallout game are true, I think it's Obsidian that's making it. It's not Bethesda. They're too busy with supposedly doing more content for. Yeah, I was gonna say supposedly doing more content for Starfield, but for really they're working on ES6 because I'm sure Todd Howard wants to retire sooner rather than later. So he'd like to get that game out so he can. Mm-hmm. When that game ships, I don't think he sticks around. I think he's done. I think he retires into the sunset, and that's fine.
I think he hangs around long enough for over. The first patch.
Yeah,
that game,
for sure.
That game's going to need a patch.
Oh, absolutely.
And then when it's finally like stable, and they can do that announcement where it's like we've already shipped 2 million copies. That's when he could do that thing like Q does in that Bond movie where he pushes a button and he just goes down into the floor and he disappears. Never see him again.
That's good.
He was never really here. They cut to his office. It's empty.
Yeah, he was never here. Sony has struck a strategic partnership with the Elden Ring publisher Bandai Namco. They have acquired a 2.5% stake, which is not a huge stake, but I saw when I saw this break, I immediately saw, going around on the internet, the few fans of Xbox that are left that are diehards complaining that this means those games won't come to Xbox. No, it doesn't.
They have no reason. Wow.
They don't really. I mean, the only reason would be that it's not going to sell there, but
right. But
I think at the same time,
and the other thing about Xbox too is like these companies are under no obligation to release physical copies of Xbox games anymore. So if they can make it just digital, they're fine. Like there's that. I don't think you put it in here, but there's that rumor that like that Oblivion remake is going to come out on PS5 physical. But
no, it's not a rumor. Xbox. I think it is. It's just.
Oh no, it is. Like they're taking reserves, but nobody knows if it's actually on the disc or not. I think
that's the thing that we're trying to figure out right now. Because I told you that was my make or break if I buy that.
Mm-hmm. If it's on the disc, it's not.
It's not worth the money.
It's like the Indiana Jones game. I want it for the shelf, but it's a nothing thing.
There's nothing on the disc. Right. Yeah, so, it's like 10 gigs of the game.
Right, and so yeah, like it doesn't mean that these games are going to skip Xbox anymore. You just probably won't get physical copies for sure. But if I'm a publisher, I'm not making physical copies of anything for Xbox ever again. It's crazy.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Who's going to carry it?
It just doesn't seem like it matters in 2025.
Not for Xbox.
I put this article in here more for the headline because it's stupid than the actual announcement. But Lollipop Chainsaw is going to get a sequel. Fine, whatever. Like that game was cool when it came out. I was always
surprised it never got one within like a couple years.
But this is an IGN article, as I pull most of our news stories from IGN. But this was one that was, and I'll read the verbatim headline, which is Lollipop Chainsaw sequel announced as publisher makes odd comment about not imposing creative restrictions. The comment is not odd, to be fair. It basically is, they're just saying, the statement concludes with this oddly worded affirmation that the sequel will contain the distinctive tone of the original game and not tone it down with DEI. A reference to Studio 51's most recent No More Heroes letting Travis Touchdown wear a fuck racism hoodie or something to do with James Gunn's Superman, which seems to have upset Fox News. Now, here's the thing. I like reading the comments when they leave them on, and IGN stupidly left the comments on for this.
Uh-oh.
And the first comment is my favorite one, which is, I don't understand the headline for this article. The statement is quite easy to understand. It simply means they're not going to tone down the game's characteristics and personality for a modern audience.
They're going to let him do what he wants because
it's not rocket science.
He does what he wants.
It's just, once again, they're just trying to push like, oh, she's going to run around in basically a bikini top and a short skirt.
Yeah.
Like, It's called Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's what
the whole game is a joke. All of his games are jokes.
Wasn't that cosplayer Jessica Negri chick? Wasn't she like the mascot for this fucking game when it came out?
She did a lot of I think she did actual like promotional work.
Pretty famous off of this game.
Well, I mean, she already was. She got famous off that Pikachu pick from 10, 15 years ago.
Fair.
But I think she did actual like marketing for this.
I believe so. Yeah.
What's crazy is like this game is still like the character and stuff. Like it's still popular. It's still relevant. Like
no, and I think that's part of the reason why they're like, we'll do a sequel. I'm sure that remake of it, which I've heard is not the best remake, but I'm sure it's
said it was bad
decently. Yeah. So that's why I didn't pick it up, because I heard it wasn't. You might as well just play the original version. Mm-hmm. But because I think that the other thing is they lost a lot of the licensing for that music, which music's a big part of that game. So that's kind of weird, but. I just put it in more for, once again, the dumbassery of how they wrote the article. So odd comment, like it's not an odd comment.
I wouldn't expect anything else from that game. I don't.
Do you want? let me put it this way: do you want a Lollipop Chainsaw made for a modern audience?
That game would not sell.
It wouldn't sell. It wouldn't sell. It would be a disaster.
This sequel is for people who like the original game, and also Stellar Blade proved. You don't have to censor
that kind of game. Will sell. Yeah, exactly.
You think Stellar Blade was like that? Stellar Blade 2 is going to blow people out of water. Like he's going to push it even farther.
There will certainly be a Stellar Blade 2.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I put this in here because this is kind of fucked, but WWE 2K25 just launched on the Switch 2, and it lacks the image uploading and community creations on this version.
Oh yeah,
and obviously people are not happy. That's a big fucking part of those games.
They're feisty. Yeah,
because they should be feisty.
That's the character creator stuff, like the downloading people that other people make, like go in there and download the whole AEW roster.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's wild that they would just omit that from the Switch. I mean,
although I want to
make the family friendly argument, but they haven't been.
I want to say the WWE games on the regular Switch were not good either, though. Like they ran crap and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's just I think that's just a system they really
not
don't
the way
I
would want to play those games. To be fair. No. Those games have glitches and problems on modern hardware.
They do, and it's a bummer because I haven't played 25 yet, but as someone who played 23 and 24, those games are finally like good again.
Yeah. We've gotten to the point where they've added most of the stuff they cut back.
There's a big point in the middle that they were not good. After like 17, they were pretty bad for a while. But
remember when the last generation started, the Xbox One and PS4, they cut a lot of the modes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then would slowly add them back in. And they started getting better, and then we hit that real low point with, was it 2020?
That was when they had to take the year off because they fucked
and then they took a year off because it was so bad. Mm-hmm. So,
but they finally 24 was pretty good, and like I haven't played 25. I'll get it when it's cheap, but they added like all the different, like they finally have intergender stuff. Which
cool.
Is crazy that a video game has not had that for a long time because there's no reason for it not to. Mm-hmm. But like, and then like I watched some people do that like Bloodline stuff, which is an insane mode to watch be played. But yeah, but the Switch they just have never cared about. Like to be fair, sports games in general have just never cared about the Switch. Remember when FIFA was doing those like legacy editions where all they were was literally last year's game with a roster update? That's a slap in the face.
It's bad. Like, and there are people that would still buy it every year. That's the sad part. I
still have never gotten the show for it. I would like to see what it's like. It's the kind of thing where if I ever come across a copy of that for like $5, I would buy it just to kind of see how much different it is as someone who's played it for 15 straight years on PlayStation products.
Be interesting.
Play a lot of PSP ones.
Head CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, has commented on the recent Xbox layoffs, and then in the same breath, doubled down on the use of AI.
That email was crazy.
It's crazy. Did we talk about it? I can't remember if it happened last time we recorded or in between here, but the blunder of the posting they did for jobs for like the art department, but they used an AI image that they generated.
We talked about it last time.
Okay.
Because it's just like, Yeah, I think we did, because the thing about AI stuff, especially like image generation, that still bothers me is I have this, I guess you could call it like a tick or something, where I can notice like the font of something be different from what it was before, which is like how I'm good at like spotting like fake video games and stuff, because the font is always a giveaway on certain parts. AI images still can't get like letters, typeface, font correct at all. And it blows me away that they can generate these weird photos you see on Facebook and stuff that people make, but it can't make a fucking like 3-word sentence look correct.
Yeah, it's weird.
And in that thing too, like the letters are slightly off. I remember that image, like the screen is on the back of the computer.
Yeah.
It's just, but
it looks bad.
Doubling down on this, like that email was crazy.
It's crazy. It's very tone deaf.
It's either tone deaf on purpose, or he's just oblivious.
I think that's part of it. I think I do think it's tone deaf on purpose.
To like pretend,
you can't make a decision like that to lay off that many people, and then in the same breath, promote not only the use of AI, but how your company is basically replacing those jobs with AI.
Yeah.
And the whole point is to go 100% AI with a lot of that stuff.
And AI still can't get a lot of stuff correct.
And we're not, it's like maybe in 5 years we might be there, but we're not there yet.
I understand AI for a lot of things, like logistics and like your shipping and ordering stuff, right? That all makes sense to me. But anything borderline creative, AI is just fucking terrible at. It does not even close.
It's just not there yet.
No. And what are they talking about? Like using AI to like make video games? And no one's playing those. It's already all exists on the PlayStation Store, man.
Yeah. We've seen them.
Pages and pages.
We've seen the pages and pages of just real slop.
Actual garbage.
Bad games.
Like, that Sony slop is what I would call
Sony's like, whatever, we get a cut if some dumbass buys this for $5. We don't care.
This store
no
is
checks and balances on Sony.
Yeah. I'd say it's weird to say, but like the Xbox store, and the Xbox store does have some of that stuff, but it's curated much better, I feel. Whereas the Sony store and like the eShop also is got a lot of that.
It was always crazy to me how far Nintendo let it go. Because you would think out of all of them, Nintendo would be the one that would like try to protect themselves the most, especially when it comes to like censorship of stuff. But then like there are tons of games on the eStore that have the word hentai in them.
A lot.
Tons.
There's a Panty Raider game on the eShop.
It's just wild. Like, does Nintendo not know what the word hentai means? It's not new.
Sure, somebody
it's been around for a long time.
I think a lot of that stuff though did go out the window when they transitioned from the Wii U to the Switch, because remember how they changed their image with all of the marketing for the Switch, where it was like, hey, we've kind of grown up.
Yeah, the Wii and the Wii
these
U
are adults hanging out on a rooftop, right?
Yeah, the Wii and the Wii U shops were very like locked down, curated, official releases of like games kind of a thing. The Switch is when it was just like, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah. Hey man, it's 2025. I've still not hung out on a rooftop playing a Switch.
You're missing out, man.
Apparently, those rooftop parties.
Hey, I told you when I went to that Switch preview event, I played it in a cutout airplane. And I could understand someone playing on a cutout airplane like this, but not with it set up on my tray table and each one of us holding a controller doing this. It was so fucking dumb.
Very dumb idea. Final news article is kind of a no-brainer type thing, but I put it in here just because I think it's humorous. Gears E-Day is going to come to PS5. Wow, shocker. So I just assume it's everything at this point.
Everything they make is coming to PlayStation at this point. What's the point anymore? I
need to reserve the Gears remaster.
When does that come? I think it comes out
end of August 26th.
Okay, right around my birthday. Yeah.
So I got time, but I need to do that. I need to confirm that.
Copy of it. Yeah.
That concludes news. We can kick over to some game recommendations here before we get to movies and the big movie of the week. My game recommendation What'd you say?
There's two big movies.
There's two big movies. Yeah, I guess there is that one which you saw. I didn't see it, so I had an opportunity to, but I didn't. So my game recommendation for the week, I meant to go grab off my shelf. I did not. But with all of the talk we've been doing, even though I still somehow, I will say, I saw a tattoo. I saw somebody get a tattoo of Claire Obscure. I do not know the context of it, but it is the bearded dude, which I assume is, what's his name? That plays Daredevil.
Gustav?
It's okay.
I will say, as someone who's finished the game, it would be weird to get a tattoo of him.
Okay. It's a tattoo of him holding a lady's hand, but then that lady's character, it looks like she just got Thanos snapped.
Oh, gommaged. Yeah, turned into flowers. So yeah, I guess it would be him. That would make sense.
I saw that and I just was like, I don't know what the context of this is, but sure, man, if you're that hard on the game.
That's like his ex-girlfriend, and she's turning, she's 33. So that when
makes sense. I saw that.
They go down to the dock to watch her paint the new number, and he turns and watches her. Like, they turn into flowers as they go away. That's what happens. Red flowers.
But because we've had a lot of conversations about that, it got me to thinking about Lost Odyssey and how great that game is. I mean, obviously today, if you have Xbox One
remake,
it's crazy we have not made a remaster or remake.
Oh God.
But you can get it very, very easily. Microsoft has given away for free many times on the digital store. But remember, just a fantastic Final Fantasy game that isn't called Final Fantasy.
It's Final Fantasy X-3 is what it really is. In terms of like how it plays, the story, the length, the amount of content, like the amount of side content.
A lot of side content.
It has a lot of cool...
really well written characters,
really well written like little stories. I mean, this game's decades old at this point, so we can kind of give it away. But you play as a guy named Kaim who's immortal, and it's just kind of his life as he's kind of living it out. And he goes to work for this. I think he's like a king or like someone who's in charge of like a place. But one of the cooler parts is throughout the game you cross paths with like people who remember you from a long time ago, or like stories of interactions you had a long time ago, and those are weird because they're played out in text. Like you just kind of have to read them.
They're voice acted,
but they give you like a lot of context about like what's actually happened.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And the reveal of like stories among the people, it's like a very slow burn throughout the game, but every so often you get a little bit more, and it's really good. But yeah, I agree with you, Kyle. Like, that game's 100%
great game. It just, the more we've talked about Claire Obscure, which will be my next game when I finish Death Stranding, but it reminds me a lot of Lost Odyssey. So tremendous game if you've never played it.
It came out in that weird like era of like where Microsoft is really trying to push like, you play RPGs on our system, we swear. Yeah. Like we have Blue Dragon, which
Blue Dragon
got kind of boring after a while.
I have all of them too. That's the funny thing.
Infinite Undiscovery, Eternal Sonata, Enchanted Arms.
Enchanted Arms was a pretty early one.
That eventually came to PS3 too.
Yeah.
Enchanted Arms, I got the 1,000 on, but yeah, it is a weird.
There's a Square Enix one that I'm thinking of that I the cover, like, I can't think of the name of it. I have
not Star Ocean, right?
It's not Star Ocean. It was that Star Ocean game for a long time was only on that system.
Yeah, too. It was very good. I like that one too.
Impossible to 1,000 that game, but
the battle trophies won't go fuck off. You can buy that on PS4 though, and I'm considering playing it again.
I keep wanting to say it's called The Last something.
The Last Remnant.
Last Remnant. Okay.
There was also what's the other one that had the guns and you were on like a hex grid. Started with an R, I want to say.
Yeah.
But it was just like this point where like Microsoft was like, man, you can play RPGs on
really hard.
And there was a lot of like weird kind of experimental ones. And out of all of them, Lost Odyssey is like by far the best one.
By far the best
Eternal
one.
Sonata I actually really liked. It's just a really fucked up like plot for a game.
It is.
Because you're like, Frederick Chopin is on his deathbed, and it's like his memories of a little girl. Like when you think about it, it's uncomfortable. But
a little bit.
But it plays really well. And that game is one of those games too where like you really haven't finished it until you've beaten it twice. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of a pain in the ass. But
Underrated system for some RPGs that didn't go anywhere else.
For like weird one-off things that never existed again. Yeah. God, man, a remaster would be so good. Right now, ride the high of Clear Obscure. Give me that.
Should do it.
Oh.
What do you got?
This isn't necessarily a recommendation. It's just something interesting I thought I'd show off. Not to like brag about it because I talked about it before, but I don't know if a lot of people have ever actually like seen a copy of it. But this is that Pokemon box game. I might have shown it before too, but this was like basically, it's a storage system for your Ruby and Sapphire Pokemon and stuff.
Yeah.
What was really cool about it is it came with this like its own like memory card. And it's blue and red, and it's like its own theme kind of thing.
Wasn't it a larger storage?
No, it's very small. It's only 59 blocks.
Oh, but
like,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it even has a manual for, no fucking reason because it's an organizer. But you could use it to play the games on your TV and all other kinds of stuff. But yeah, it was just one of those like weird things where I think it was Nintendo Store only, and I bought off a guy on eBay for like $30 at the time. There's two versions of it too. There's this, and then there's one where it's like it comes in a big box and it's got like the cable and stuff. Okay. I think when I bought it, the guy just didn't have it. But yeah, this memory card has a lot of Pokemon on it. What are they? I don't know. I could probably put it on GameCube and see. But yeah, this is just a weird. The GameCube has a lot of weird one-off, like limited run titles of stuff.
Yeah,
like
it does for sure.
And it's not always stuff that like you think would be so crazy. Like Disney Sports Basketball is hard to get. There's a college basketball game on the GameCube. And I don't think a lot of people know that because there's only like maybe a couple thousand copies of that game were ever like released.
Sure.
So yeah, the GameCube is just one of those weird systems to collect for, but because it's got a lot of Cubivore, even Chibi Robo was crazy to find. Billy Hatcher's getting out of control.
That one is getting up there. Yeah.
It's not a bad game, but yeah, I just thought this would be a cool thing if nobody's ever seen it to kind of show it off.
But you, Matt?
I said Shredder's Revenge. I mean, it was great when it came out. I still play it a lot today. So it's just like
DLC for that game that came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I bought it for the Xbox and for the Switch. So, I mean, I have it for both because, my youngest was obsessively playing that game. But it's still fun. Like, when he loads it up, I'm like, yeah. When he loads it up and he's like, you want to play Turtles? I'm like, yeah, let's play Turtles. All right, dude. You talked me into it and you didn't even have to say anything. So
yeah, it's very good. I wish I hadn't, or I guess I wish I would have known they were making DLC, so I wouldn't have bought this version of it, because they did make it again with everything in it. So that's kind of a bummer, but especially since I bought like the collector's thing of it where it's shaped like a VHS tape and stuff. But
yeah, I love that.
It's a great edition of that game. It's just, I really want the fucking complete one, and I don't have it. So maybe someday.
Maybe.
We can kick into movies. There is one movie that we've all watched, and we'll get to it in a minute. But the only other movie that I watched in the last 2 weeks is I finally sat down and watched that Bring Her Back movie, which is the follow up to the Talk to Me. Those people that did that movie.
Yeah.
Not as good as Talk to Me. It's okay. It's very grotesque. It's not like Talk to Me is a very fun horror movie. In my opinion, like there's still grotesque things that happen, but you can have a fun and good time with it. You ain't going to have a fun and good time with Bring Her Back. Like there's no joy in it. It's very dark. It's very much a woman who lost a child under some pretty fucked circumstances and is trying to bring that child back in a very fucked up way. There's a lot of body horror in it, which is shown. It's hard for me to say, like it's not a movie where I'd say like I enjoyed my time with like it's fine. It's a decent horror movie, but it's not something I would return to. Whereas like I could easily put Talk to Me on again and have a fun time watching that movie a second time. but I own it. I actually bought it, but bring her back. Like it was fun to watch. I guess I thought it would be more Pet Sematary like, and it is, but it also is not. It does have rules, it does have rules, but I feel like the rules kind of do fly out the window like most horror movies. Whereas like one of the things I really like about Talk to Me was it had very specific rules and they stuck with those rules through the entire movie. This one, they kind of throw some stuff out the window as things progress in it. It's a very fucked up movie. Like there are elements to it that you're just like, wow, that's really crazy. Like basically, it's like I said, it's a woman who she lost her kid. Her kid drowned in a swimming pool, an accident. And so she wants to bring her kid back. She found some like Russian VHS tape that shows you how to do this ritual, which they kind of show like shots of it in the movie, but you don't really ever see the entire thing. You just see like she'll watch it every once in a while. And then she has this like fucked up kid in her house because she's a foster parent. And so the movie follows these other two kids who they are not even blood related. There's a regular kid, there's a boy, he's normal, and then he has a sister who's like a half sister, and her sister is like 85% blind. Like she can still kind of see some stuff, but she's mostly blind. Okay, which is a very integral and important thing to say for the context of what's going on in the movie, because she can't see stuff. So there's a lot of things that she falls for throughout the movie because of that. She's a lot more trusting than she should be because of that. But there's an event that happens with their father. Their father passes away, so they get put in this foster home with this woman, and they very much find out right away, like, this lady's not with it. Like, there's something very off with her and this kid that's like kind of reminds me of when the little baby gets possessed in Pet Sematary, but maybe a little more restrained. Like, he just kind of mumbles shit and looks goofy. And then things start to kind of spiral out from there. Like, there's a point where she will keep that kid locked in her bedroom if she's not there. And then the older boy doesn't know that that's, a thing where he's supposed to be locked in there, and lets him out, decides to cook him some food, and that kid just starts chewing on a fucking knife. So, which is very graphic and very shocking. And there's a lot of that in this movie. So, but it concludes in a way. There is a twist to what's going on. It does involve a ritual and something that this woman's trying to do to bring her daughter back. Because that was the big question I asked while I was watching the movie. Like, I kind of knew going into the movie that's what it was about, but very clearly the kid that is fucked up in this movie that you see in the trailers is not a girl, but they kept mentioning that, like, she lost her daughter. So there is a twist behind that part of it that I think is very interesting in the movie. But I'd say I would recommend. I was a 7 out of 10. Like, I would recommend it, but you're not going to have a fun time with it. So it's not a fun horror movie. It's a very much like how I felt after I watched Hereditary kind of feeling. We're like, boy, that was quite a lot. So, the only other movie that I watched this week, which we have all seen, and I think will probably spark a way larger conversation than I thought it would, is Happy Gilmore 2, which is out on Netflix. I think to start, we should just all say what we would give it, and then we can talk about it. But like, for me as well, it was a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it, but I have issues with it. With that being said, I think it's the best thing Adam Sandler has done in a while. It's certainly the best Netflix thing that he's done, outside of his stand-up specials, if you've seen those on there. And I have not. I will also say I have not watched every single Adam Sandler Netflix movie, but I've seen most of them, and most of them are pretty terrible. The only one that I thought was okay was the Halloween one. The Hubie Halloween. I thought that was okay. That made me laugh, but it's very low brow. Like, the bar is really low. So like, for this to make it over that bar, it wasn't that big of a deal, but we'll get into it. But for me, it was a 7 out of 10. What was it for you, Dan?
Probably like a 6. Before we get too much into it, like, I just really feel like it's two movies in one. And part of it I really liked, and part of it I really hated. And I just kind of wanted it to be over at a certain point. Like it seemed maybe a little too long for what it was.
For context, it's almost 2 hours, and the original movie is 90 minutes.
I don't mind 2-hour movies these days. I kind of expect that.
Comedies, I don't think
comedies
need 2 hours.
Can do, and the way this one did it, I didn't like it. Because it was literally like two different movies at one. There's a part where like the first part stops and the second part begins, and I just was like not interested anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. People are bitching about like the cameos and stuff, but it's like, have you ever seen an Adam Sandler movie, dude? Like especially recently.
What I'll say about that too is like that was probably the biggest thing that I saw people bitching about, and now having seen the movie, like. All the cameos, they're not very long.
Very few people overstay their welcome in terms of like cameos.
I wouldn't say anybody really overstays their welcome.
There's a couple of strange ones, but in particular, but I never felt like they were ruining the movie by having people I recognize from other places in it.
No, because I never did either.
Yeah. So, and then another thing we'll get into in a little bit after Matt, but like, there's a little too much callbacks to the first movie.
We'll talk about that.
Go ahead.
What about you, Matt?
I'll split the difference and I'll go 6.5 between the two of y'all.
Okay.
I feel the same way. Like it wasn't. I've seen bad movies this year, and I definitely don't think it's the worst movie I've seen.
No.
Like I could probably put it in again and just rewatch it. Like it's not bad in that aspect, but
it's very watchable.
There are just some things that's kind of like, okay, we're doing this again. Like, why are we doing this again? Like, what are we talking about? And without getting into much of it, but until we get into it, like Dan was saying, it becomes two movies, and the second half just kind of took me out of it, but I was still willing to watch it because I've essentially watched everything Adam Sandler's done, and
I have as well, pretty much. Yeah,
I don't expect, and I hate to say it like this and be mean, I don't expect a lot out of an Adam Sandler
My
movie.
expectations for this were very low and very tempered, because even though it's like, I've always wanted to see, like, I've always wondered, like, what would a sequel to Happy Gilmore be?
Yeah.
And for him to finally be like, all right, fine, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I will say, like, it's also a movie where you can very clearly tell they had way more fun making the movie than the movie actually is.
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
They had a fucking blast making this movie and doing some of the stuff they did, bringing some of these people back. Like, you can tell, I'd say the person that's having the most fun in this movie by far is Shooter.
Yeah,
Christopher McDonald, like, he is having a fucking blast
with him.
I like what they did too. Like, that's the thing too, is like, also I'll say, like, this, we're gonna spoil this movie because there's no way to talk about it without.
I don't think anything we like. Yeah, we're gonna spoil
don't
it.
Tell you what the story is at all.
No.
Which was smart.
Yeah.
But like, I will say, like, and that was for me, is like the first hour of this movie, if it would have maintained that level, I would easily tell you it's the best thing he's done in 20 years. Like, I really was with it. It's dark in a way, but it's still a comedy. Like, it makes sense for what they did. I've seen some people that are upset about that. So again, we're going heavy spoilers, but it picks up right after the events of the first movie. They kind of go through and, like, he continued his career for a little while. He won some more trophies. He had 5 kids.
He basically did really well. He had a great career.
He did really well. Like, he had a pretty good career. And then he has an accident where he accidentally killed his wife because he got married to the chick from the first movie. And it's an accident, but that turns him into being an alcoholic, which it takes like an oddly dark comedic turn, I thought, but like, it works.
You know what? It worked for a little bit, but I found myself not liking it after a point when everything he ever touched was a flask. Like, they got a little out of control. That joke into the ground constantly over and over. I said, I could have seen
cell phone.
I could have seen that being a joke when he got sober and she was removing the stuff from the house.
Right.
And him being like the remote, the clock, like that would have been funny because you could have picked random stupid shit around the house.
Yeah.
But when a golf ball, his phone, like it got out of control.
It did get out of control.
So I was like, this isn't a joke. It's sad. And the fact that like every time you reference it, I'm not laughing. It's sad.
No.
And I get that you're trying to make me feel bad for him, but it's sad.
I will also preface this by saying the guy, the actor that plays the villain in this movie, like the main villain, I do not like at all.
No,
I've not liked him in other shit. And when he showed up, I know his character is supposed to be playing a douchebag, but I just don't like that guy at all. So when he showed up, I was one of those kind of things like, oh, that dude's in this movie. Great. That kind of brought me down on it. But like I said, the first half of it's very good. It's very decent. I laughed a lot. I laughed through the whole thing. That's the best thing I can say about it. I laughed through the entire movie. Like there was never like some of it wore a little thin, but I still had a good time.
Yeah. I just really wish that like I liked the plot of him having to go back to golf to get money to like help pay for his daughter to go to school.
There's a way they could have done that much better.
But the thing is, like watching him get sober and train and get back to form and all that stuff. I would have liked it to parallel the first movie where like he gets into tournaments again and he finishes 51st and then he finishes 40th.
That's really where it seemed like it was going.
It would have felt better to me that like he's overcoming this tragedy that he caused for the betterment of his family. But then it becomes all about one tournament,
maxi golf,
where he, starts drinking again so that he can compete against this crazy version of golf where they figured out how to make people drive like him by cutting a ligament. Like the explanation they have to go through
is terrible.
To do this, it turns it into, it's not for Happy Gilmore, for all of its faults, is grounded in reality.
Yeah, this is not.
It loses itself. And
it does.
I've said this to a lot of people and very few people get the reference, but I told Kyle, I told Matt, I told a couple other friends, like, as someone who loved watching Caddyshack all the time, I don't think a lot of people realize there's a Caddyshack 2. This is what that is to that movie. Caddyshack 2 is a fucking insane movie that goes off the rails. And this is what happens here. To the point where the last 45 minutes of this movie, I really could give a shit what happens.
Yeah, they basically get into that tournament where they're playing against those pro level people for the maxi golf thing.
Becky Lynch?
Yeah,
Becky
Lynch is one of them.
That was a weird cameo.
She was a weirder cameo, but like none of the cameos really bothered me in the movie, and like I enjoyed them. I think some of the better ones, like Eminem, was probably one of my favorites.
Can I say Bad Bunny was my absolute favorite?
He was very good too.
He was very good in it too. I also like, even though you knew, it always amazes me when he will call, because like Steve Buscemi is a pretty good, like if you ever watch a dramatic movie with him, he's very good.
Oh yeah.
So it almost seems like it must be a running joke between those guys of like, what fucking dumb shit thing I'm going to have you do in this one. And in this one, he has a fascination with peeing in mailboxes.
I thought like having John Daly be the weird dude who just kind of like lives in this house, great. Like if you know who John Daly is in real life, like it's perfect.
I enjoyed that too. I thought the stuff they did with Ben Stiller was fine with bringing Hal back.
There might have been too much of it.
It might have gone too far, but it didn't bother me too much.
And again, the biggest problem this movie has is it either thinks that you haven't seen the first movie ever, or that you don't remember any part of it, because I tell you what, guys, we're going to show you clips of the first movie in this movie a couple times. It's like we all remember we all remember all this stuff, and they do it for everybody. They bring back the IRS guy as a lawyer,
and then they go show the
IRS guy, and then they throw
you the guy that threw me through the glass pane window, and then they show that. Like that was my biggest issue. Is like, you can have those callback jokes, and that's fine. But you don't have to insult the audience by having to show them that clip every time, because I would argue Happy Gilmore is one of the most quotable and memorable movies of the 90s, and most people that like or have a love for that movie know all of it by heart. They don't need to see those scenes played out again.
Don't need any of it.
And that seemed like a Netflix decision to do that more than a decision of Sandler.
But they do callbacks for everything, like his date with her at the ice rink.
Yeah.
The first time when he's driving the stuff off of the yard, he hits that lady in the head. Like they just like anytime they felt like they could bring a clip in, they just did it.
They would do it, yeah.
And it was like, I don't know, man.
Well, and I told you, I rewatched the original one on Thursday. I didn't have to, but I wanted to because it's been a couple years since I've watched it. But boy, after watching, I really didn't have to. So, because they basically had to play those clips every fucking time. So, but like I said, I mean, it was always going to be a Netflix Adam Sandler movie at the end of the day, and it is still a Netflix Adam Sandler movie at the end of the day, but I do think it's one of the better ones that he's done. But like I said, if it like I think I told you, like I don't know if I definitely wouldn't watch it again right away. Like if I was flipping around or something and it was on, I'd probably watch it, but it's not at that level of the original, and it never was going to be. But I look at like for legacy sequels that we've gotten, and all of them have been pretty bad. Like Anchorman 2, not very good. Dumb and Dumber 2. Does anybody even remember that they did that? No.
Sucks.
There's one other one I keep forgetting that they did. All of those legacy sequels have always been bad for these comedies, and I feel like this is probably the best attempt that anybody's made to do one, but it still unfortunately falls short. So I didn't even bother that like two of his real life daughters have prominent roles in this.
They're both good.
And they're fine. Yeah, they're decent actresses. His wife.
They do well.
They all were fine. Yeah. Like none of that took me out of the movie. Like none of the performances took me out of the movie. But like I will say, like, as I know that you laughed at it. I know a lot of people laughed at it, but your buddy Rob Schneider showing up, that dude's a piece of shit. Like
he is, but like
we talk
that's
a lot.
Huge thing from the 90s.
I get it, and we talk a lot about like separating the person from acting and stuff. My problem is he doesn't separate himself from that. He's a fucking psychopath now. And it's just like for a 2-second joke, I could have done without. You could have figured out some other dumbass character to come back from another movie and shown up and done something. Could have had Shaq come in there and throw a dude over a house.
You gotta save him for Grown Ups 3, man.
I know, but like, you know, so there's that. And then I don't know if we mentioned it, but like the Shooter McGavin like redemption arc is great.
Yeah, like that was the other surprising part of the movie.
You're primed to think, oh, he's gonna come back and be the villain again, and then he's not. And it was great.
They have a very funny fight scene in a graveyard where they keep showing like the dead characters of the movie. And I thought all that sequence was very well done. And then when it kind of subverted that expectation of just like, all right, we've had it out. Why don't we work together? Because this maxi golf thing sucks.
We don't have to hate each other. Right.
Yeah. And I actually enjoyed that more because I expected him to be the villain of this movie.
And I think everybody does, because like even the promos, even the Subway commercials, you're primed to think he's the bad guy in the movie.
Yeah.
And when he wasn't, I was like, I really liked that. I thought that was a great change.
It did a good job of subverting that. Yeah. So like that was a good move, I
hated like the conclusion of the movie where like we're playing, you know, grown up mini golf on this tilting table bullshit.
Yeah.
And the stakes of I have to raise $300,000 for her to go to school just comes down to if I make a single putt, you're going to pay for this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And the guy goes, okay, yeah. The guy's a piece of shit. Are you guaranteed to get any of that? No.
Right.
That's why I would have preferred like he's got to work his way back on the tour. And you could have had
a real tournament.
We haven't talked about like Haley Joel Osment is like the villain golf dude.
Yeah.
Like great, because like you would never think that as like a guy, but that could have been on the pro golf tour where maybe they could have done where they figured out how to make people drive like him. And then the point is he has to beat those guys because he makes a point to say later, like, it's not because of my back, it's because of my rage. That's how I can do this. So that could have been the whole point of the movie, was him having to work his way up against against these golfers and stuff and win the thing legitimately and then win the jacket. Or maybe they have a doubles match and he has to pair up with Shooter against this guy and some other guy. That would have been a hell of a lot more fun and parallel to the first movie than just careening into a ditch. And I don't know. Yeah, it's just a weird feeling as you're watching it.
Like I enjoyed it, but like I oddly have some disappointment at the same time. But like it's.
I also thought there are too many professional golfers in this movie, given too much to do.
I
don't care that they're in the movie. Like during the scene where they're eating in the clubhouse, great.
That was the level they should have been in the movie.
But when we get current pro golfers to like have to play in this tournament with him, we're losing the plot here. This is about Happy Gilmore, not Brooks Koepka fucking playing giant mini golf on a fucking ice field. Like it was dumb.
I did like the joke of that one guy being named Screech, though.
That was great. Like
that was a good joke. Like, there are times where it's just like that's really fucking funny.
Yeah, but there's a much better movie that could have existed.
Where I think people would have been happier with it than what we got.
Very much.
But I still had a good time with it. So, I'll kick over to you. You have the other big movie of the week that you have seen now.
I went and saw Fantastic Four day one. And I think when I got out of it, I told you a 7.5. But I think the more I think about it and think back on it and like how much I liked it and like its place in the MCU and what it means, I think it's actually better than that. I think it's more 8, maybe a little bit higher than that.
Oh, okay.
It goes more back to, from my understanding, kind of the phase 1 movies.
Well, there's a lot of things about it.
It's very self-contained.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things about it that really like set it apart from all of the other stuff that you're watching now, where you've got to watch Thunderbolts. You had to watch a different movie, 2 other TV shows, and some of those were a couple years ago.
I don't think you really have to have seen anything
for
to
Fantastic
watch this
Four. You have to have seen literally nothing. Okay. This movie is its own thing. It's entirely contained. I'm not going to spoil too much because it's only been out a week, not even a week, but it's on its own Earth. And so I think there's a misconception, which I think was done on purpose, that it's set in the 60s. It's not. It's a different Earth.
So it's like a different Earth, and it has the retro.
Yes, all of the tech is just retro future tech. Like they have flying cars. They have all this other stuff. So it's not that it's 60 years ago. It's just this is how this world progressed. So it works. And you don't have to worry about like, are they going to time travel to the current day? No, they're in the current day. It's just this is how their world works. Because they have, this isn't really a spoiler just because it's a plot point, but they have capability to do faster than light travel to warp to different planets and stuff. So like clearly it's not set in the fucking 60s.
They say what Earth it is.
Yes, it is Earth 818 or 828 because that's Jack Kirby's birthday and he created the Fantastic Four. They show that at the end. And you're like, oh, okay, cool.
That makes sense.
So it's its own contained universe. Another thing that they did that I like that a lot of superhero movies don't do anymore is no origin story. They've been the Fantastic Four for 4 years, and they make it clear to say like the opening of the movie is there's an in-universe TV special about there are protectors. It's been 4 years. Let's show you some of the highlights. So it shows them fighting a whole bunch of villains that would never be big enough to get their own movie to be the villain.
No, and that's cool.
Perfect.
That's a
As
good
someone
way to
who likes the Fantastic Four, I got to see a couple guys who I would never otherwise see.
See in a movie.
Yeah, pretty fun. And then like you're just kind of like thrown into it because at this point, even if you're not a Fantastic Four fan, the one guy stretches, the girl is invisible, one dude's made out of fire, and one dude's made out of rocks. You just know it. You don't need to be told how it happened. And they reference it a little bit, but it's not a plot point. I thought everybody's performances were very good. Especially like the Thing and Human Torch, like together. Great. Sue is she's not like the typical woman in the team where she kind of takes a step back and doesn't say anything. She takes over when she has to take over, and it's great.
Sure.
And then Pedro Pascal, we've talked about it a lot. He's a very good actor. He's a very good actor
that's just unfortunately overused right now.
And he did not fit to me. As someone who, I say it a lot, but like, I'm not trying to say like I know more about the Fantastic Four and everyone, but like I've read the comics. I have a whole bunch of them. Like after like Spider-Man and Daredevil, they're probably like my next favorite Marvel like thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've read a lot of stuff about Reed. I've read a lot of stuff about their kids and like everything. So he just kind of he fits and he doesn't, to the point where I just wish it was somebody else, anybody else. I think they did a better job with like Johnny and the Thing by casting two guys who are not uber famous, but are known.
Yeah, like the one dude's fame is from Stranger Things and the other dude's from The Bear.
Right. So like, yeah, so they're both very like, you know them, but it's not like that's the only thing I ever see them as is those people.
Yeah.
Her, like, she's been in enough stuff here and there, but I don't feel like she's ever been uber famous.
She's not,
so,
I
like,
wouldn't say she's a household name of an actress, but you know she is.
She's been in Mission Impossible. Like, she just does kind of a lot of stuff. And she's great too. He just
I'll say it's kind of holds back being a typical jokey Marvel movie.
Yeah, there's jokes, but it's jokes because Ben and Johnny are like, they're like brothers. So they rib each other all the time. And it's all about like them doing, there aren't really like other jokes other than that. I wish it would have leaned a little bit more into humor because it does get a little serious at times. Okay. There are a couple things that in the context of the movie, like maybe I didn't hear it or wasn't paying enough attention, but the timeline for how long it is between certain things, it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
they'll say something at one point like, oh, it's going to be a month, but then they're immediately back in this other place and you're like, has it been a month? And then they have to build all this stuff and it's like, but then it's done. You're like, how long did that take? How much time do we have? It's just, you're kind of like forced to kind of take a leap of faith. It's also noted that this movie's 2 hours, which for a Marvel movie is short.
Does it feel like it's chopped up in any places?
It's missing parts.
Okay.
Because there's been talks about they've cut a lot of stuff out. Like John Malkovich was supposed to be in it. He's not in it at all.
He's not in it at all.
And you can tell, and you know where he's supposed to go, but they skip over it.
Interesting.
Natasha Lyonne is in it, which I think I remember I knew. She's in like 2 scenes. And she's meant to be like a love interest for Ben, but she's not the one that he typically has in the comics. But there's clearly something missing, like a full scene of them talking or something is gone
or something.
Yeah, they're like, we need to cut that to keep the movie going.
Does other than like end credit scenes, does anything in the movie itself set anything up for what's coming?
The mid credits
doomsday stuff, just the end credit scene. Okay,
yeah.
But nothing that happens in this movie would really have any impact on that.
There is a mention at one point where, so in universe, Reed has like a Bill Nye show. Okay. And he does like a lot of complex math and all the stuff on the board, and he makes a mention of the multiverse is real. But it's just kind of like we know that it's real, and then they move on. They don't talk about it. They don't go to any other places in this thing. But you know, the end of Thunderbolts, spoiler, showed them showing up in this universe. Yeah, that scene doesn't happen in this movie.
Interesting.
Of them coming here.
Not even like an end credits.
Not at all. I thought maybe it would be end credits. But end credits it's one of those like jokey ones where it's meant to just be kind of a fun, hey, thanks for sticking around kind of a thing. Okay. The mid credits one is the big one. I didn't really care for the mid credits scene. I think they could have done it better. As someone who so Franklin, their son, very important thing that he exists.
And I would assume his birth happens during this movie.
Yes, it happens in the middle of the movie. He's a plot point for the whole thing. Like, he's very important to the concept of the Marvel universe as a whole, in comics and in everything. He's a very important person. In terms of his power. I don't know. This isn't really giving it away because he's existed in comics for years. His power is he basically has the power over dimensions. Itself. He can create them and collapse them and do whatever he wants. He time travels frequently. He does all this kind of shit. There's some stuff where in the future it turns out he might be related to Kang, or like all kinds of crazy shit happens with him. And they have another kid later where even crazier shit happens with, but we don't even touch that in this, thank God.
Okay, fair.
So mid credits is important for the setup, but it isn't much. It's if you missed it, it doesn't really matter.
That's a year and a half from now.
Well, yeah, because that's the next movie is Spider-Man, which is a year away.
Next year,
then Doomsday is months after
Christmas.
That. Yeah. So we've got a long time between the next two. So they really don't have to do a ton. Like, I think doing anything substantial here would have been too much, considering how far away it is. And considering we've already revealed that Robert Downey Jr. is Doom, which the more I think about it, the less I don't believe it. For
that it's probably just a swap for somebody else.
My theory is, and this is getting off track a little bit, my theory is he is Tony Stark from a different dimension. In that dimension, he became Doom, which does happen in the comics, of course, at one point. And maybe they bring him in to help them fight the other Doom. It could be anything. But my theory is he's not the real one, and there is another one. And if that is the case, it's a hell of a swerve, and I love it. If it's not, it's kind of a cop-out that they just cast this. But so the mid-credits scene, I don't want to say what it is because it is a fun thing, but it could have. I wanted something completely different. What I wanted was adult Franklin to show up. And because my thought would be you could have set up a lot of fun stuff where then we could have Franklin as an adult character in Doomsday and Secret Wars and all this kind of stuff, and we don't have to like just dump it on you then. But it could have been cool to have like somebody come in and be like, he shows up and he just goes, "Hi, Mom," or something like that, and then like the look on her face, and then it cuts or something. There's something we could have done that's more than what they did because it's not really anything.
But would they age up all these characters that much
for him? I wouldn't. It's not aging him up. I would time travel in a future version of him.
Oh, okay.
To be like for him to show up, be like, I had to come back because it's about to get real fucked, kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Where like he's the harbinger of something real bad's about to happen. And something's bad about to happen, then I can't stop it. Would be something where that would like set the stakes for Doomsday. It's like going to be super fucked up at some point, you know? Because you would have to think that since Doomsday is, by all intents and purposes, is the empire of this trilogy, and then and Secret Wars is going to be Jedi. Yeah. And Doomsday, like a lot of people are probably going to die because they've already said Secret Wars is it. We're done. They just came out and said, like, after Secret Wars, we'll restart, which is what they need to do. So
I can tell you,
nobody's safe anymore.
I can tell you because I watched a video yesterday of a guy piecing together what his theory is for what the Doomsday movie is, just by like things that have leaked and things that, you know, because there have been leaks of like them filming that movie right now and stuff.
Right.
I will tell you, I won't tell you on here because I don't want to spoil it for anybody if that is what happens, but I will tell you the way that guy theorizes it, there is a very, very major death at the end of Doomsday that
there has to
will probably put a lot.
I've also seen rumors that movie begins with a ton of deaths.
I can see that too.
Right.
But the one that I'm referring to is that it would be at the end of the movie and would really kind of set the stage for all that battle world stuff for Secret Wars.
Secret Wars is going to be fucking crazy because it's going to be anybody who's
if
left,
they can pull it off.
Anybody who's left alive will have to be in that movie.
Right.
And I'm talking like villains and stuff too, because the whole point of Battleworld in the comics is like heroes versus villains. And the Beyonder wants to see who's best. And, you know, and if anybody's going to survive the Avenger, like the Secret Wars purge, it's going to be Spider-Man and finish off his stuff. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Secret Wars, he gets his suit, but because that's where Venom came from. But
yeah, and if we're ever going to do it, that's
the way to do it. Because the Sonyverse is dead. Secret Wars is in like 3 years. Like that's the time to do it. But yeah, so Fantastic Four, like it's a great movie. It is a standalone movie. You don't have to see anything before.
Makes me more excited to see it
if you don't want to, which is crazy. Very, very. I came out of it going, yeah, it was good. There's some CG problems, but every fucking movie has CG.
Every fucking movie right now has that issue.
Yeah, so I highly recommend it. I got the Thing cup, which is really cool.
Hell yeah.
Sucking on my thing the whole time. But that was like the cups were really cool. That was an AMC.
That was the AMC.
That was an AMC bonus. Yeah.
You get the Galactus.
No, I don't even think they had any of those, but they had the Herbie popcorn bucket, which the people next to us got, and they got to show. They showed me how like his little button, he lights up a little 4 on. He projects like a 4.
I like
cool. That. Yeah, it's very good. I recommend it. I'm excited to see what they do with these characters in Doomsday, like what kind of role like Reed's going to take and all this stuff. But,
yeah,
I recommend it. I actually, part of me kind of wants to go see it again, just because. But yeah, but that's it for me.
But you, Matt?
Yeah, so I'll blaze through these as quick as possible. But I watched The Bronze, which came out in I believe it says 2015.
Okay.
It's got the girl who's in Big Bang, Melissa Rauch, I believe.
I know she's. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's essentially her. She was a gymnast when she was younger, and now she's essentially reliving her. She's still like utilizing her fame to kind of like live through the day. Ends up happening is her old coach commits suicide, and then she's told in order to get a inheritance from her old coach, she has to train the old coach's new protege to make it to the Olympics.
Okay.
So she agrees to do that, to get the money. It's a really strange movie. Like, it wasn't bad in any way. I'd give it like a 6.5. I thought it was actually really good, really entertaining. There's a sex scene in this movie that is completely wild. Like the wildest thing I've ever seen in a movie. Like, it kind of reminds me of, the best way to putting this, if you've ever seen Team America World Police, but with people.
Oh my God.
It is wild. But Sebastian Stan's in this movie, which I didn't know he was in it. I kind of went in blind. It's a pretty good movie. It's on Hulu right now, so give it a shot if you want to. I think it's a pretty solid flick. Next thing I watched was this rom-com called Things Like This. Nobody really big is in the movie. It was good. I mean, it's very rom-com-y. It's about two guys who essentially meet up and they just kind of fall for each other. The really cute backstory of them is apparently they were each other's first kiss when they were in like middle school summer camp. And then they found each other again as they were older. I enjoyed it. It was a good flick. I'd give it a 6.5, honestly. Next thing I ended up watching was The Ritual. Please don't watch that.
I was gonna say, is that the Al Pacino horror movie?
It's horrible. Okay. It is really slow for a horror movie, and there is nothing like
redeeming about watching it.
There's really nothing. And even like the scenes, like if you've watched most horror type exorcism movies, there's always like something crazy happening. Like in one scene, it just goes balls to the wall. None of the scenes felt like this. It was just like super slow in the entire
flick. We can
put
a pause on exorcism movies for a while at this point.
We really can.
It's a kind of thing where like I feel like we didn't make those for a long time, and then the last 5 years that's been the thing. Yeah, like to the point that we even tried to bring back The Exorcist and failed miserably. So
yeah, it was not good. Yeah. I definitely say don't go watch it. Al Pacino was okay in it, but even
his
in
track
his
record
role,
in the last decade has been pretty bad. So
yeah, I mean at this point, just if you want to see Al Pacino dance around, just watch Jack and Jill, and you get Adam Sandler and Al Pacino, the same movie.
There you go.
Get a good Dunkachino out of this flick.
There you go.
Dunkachino. I also watched this flick called Get Away. It's with Nick Frost.
Okay.
fantastic. It is so good. I give this a 7.5. It was honestly like not what I expected.
Okay.
I'll run it down for you real quick. So what happens is this family essentially goes on this remote island because their mom has like family like history with the island. So in this island, what they did is they were the English came over and essentially the island became cannibalistic and they started eating each other.
Okay.
And when they did that, they essentially killed all of the English and ate all the English. So the mother of this movie the story is that she's going to the island because her family died on this island and she wants to see what it's about. Well, every year the people that live on the island put together a play that reenacts the entire story of what happened on the island.
Okay.
And so like it's just overall got a really creepy vibe. So this family they go to the island. They're not going to get picked up for like 3 days. They have to wait for the ferry to return, blah, blah, blah. And just weird stuff starts happening to this family.
So it pretty much plays it straight. Like it's not a comedy.
No, not a comedy.
Okay. It plays it straight. Okay.
It plays it straight.
Interesting.
There's a twist.
Okay.
And the twist was what made this movie fantastic.
Okay.
So I'm not going to tell you with it because I definitely feel like you need to watch it. But I thought it was.
I remember seeing it up when I was looking at stuff, but I have not watched it. So
I will definitely say whenever
I will put it on the list for this week. Yeah.
Fantastic. I was already like, I love Nick Frost, Simon Pegg. They're one of my favorites from watching Shaun of the Dead.
That's why I asked if it was any kind of comedic element or if this is just plays it straight horror movie. Okay. Interesting.
But like, yeah, once the twist happened, the movie became 10 times better. It's fantastic.
Okay.
So give it a watch. I also watched Megan 2.0. It's good.
It's fine.
I mean, it's fine. It's a 6. It's nothing like crazy. Like I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I need to go see it again. But I will say, if it's on my TV, I'll watch it.
It's very fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, and it's actually from the trailers, it's better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay,
so I'll give it that. I also ended up watching Karate Kid Legends, and I was kind of disappointed. I was really hoping there was more interaction between Jackie Chan's character and
isn't the point of that movie to merge like the 2010 Jackie Chan movie with all the stuff that's happened with Cobra Kai?
So the story behind it is that essentially Mr. Miyagi and Jackie Chan became like their styles essentially combined, and they wanted to become essentially one tree with 2 branches on it. And so LaRusso never really trained with Jackie, but they were still like on the same pathway. So the kid who plays the main character, he's not bad. He didn't do anything wrong in this movie. I think he played his role really well. It's more the writing. Like the writing was kind of off, and I felt like the movie could have been a hair bit longer to kind of benefit to getting a little more into the Mr. Miyagi and Mr. Han story. Because I feel like they just kind of mention it briefly, and you're supposed to just be okay with it.
Fair.
And like they train the kid to go into this tournament in like 5 days, which it really doesn't even feel
seems,
like
not enough time, honestly.
And the training montage is just really, really quick. And it just doesn't feel like they give him enough time. Like I really felt like they should have given them more time to train him to kind of like get a better understanding of their relationship as essentially a dojo. it was. I give it a 5. It was okay. Would I watch it again? Probably, because Jackie Chan's in it. Would I? If I never see it again, I'm not necessarily mad at it. It's okay. And then I watched Superman on Saturday.
You went and saw it?
I did go see Superman. Probably for me, one of the better Superman movies I've watched. And I explained it best to one of my friends tonight. I did go watch Man of Steel when it came out in theaters because I have a lot of friends who are Superman fans, so they wanted to go see it, and I went with them. I haven't seen Man of Steel since I watched it in theaters.
Fair.
But I will watch Superman again.
Okay.
Because I really enjoyed it. I liked where the story picked up for him.
He brought back like optimism to Superman in a way that is not in Man of Steel.
Not at all. And
his speech at the end, when he finally like gets to Lex Luthor, is very well done and very good and very
fantastic.
Fitting. Yeah,
like for the Superman really character, I really liked him.
Yeah,
like he played that role fantastically.
So well.
I will say, coming out of this movie, I really want to look into Mr. Terrific.
Okay,
and Element Man.
Okay,
I like the two
that
people
guy
who
steals
played
that movie. Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific was fantastic.
Really does.
Like the moment I started, when I watched, like when he came across the screen, he already caught my eye, and then like just everything they did with him in the movie, I was like, okay, now I have to learn more about him because I liked it.
Okay.
Like, I like what he did.
But I feel like, and you, now that you've seen it, you probably agree too, is like, for the big fear of that movie being like, oh man, there's all these other characters and stuff in it, they never overpower that movie from it being, this is a Superman movie. It's still through a Superman movie. Yeah, it just happens to have some of these other characters.
One of my favorite scenes in this movie that kind of made me kind of like, it kind of feels like that, is when he finds out about what his parents did.
Yeah.
And he goes back to his apartment, and Lois is there.
Oh, in the battle behind them.
They're just straight up battling them in the back. And he's just like sitting on his couch talking to Lois. And I'm like, that's like the perfect description of this movie. Like the characters, as far as Green Lantern, Hawkeye, or Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Elemental Man, they all play their role, but they don't overshadow what's happening in this movie.
Not at all. Not at all.
And I think it's done really well. I think James Gunn did a fantastic job on that one.
Oh, yeah.
All in all, I really enjoyed it, and I am not a Superman fan. So I can tell you that with great certainty that was a really well done movie. Yeah. And I will definitely watch it again when it pops up on like Max whenever it does.
Sure.
Because there are certain things I want to see again about it. But yeah, fantastic.
Well, now that you've seen it, and we won't talk about it here, but I will tell you when we're done the one thing I didn't like about it. Now that you've seen it, and so
okay, we can talk about it afterwards.
I won't. Yeah, don't tell me because I'm gonna probably try to see it before it leaves theaters.
Okay,
it was good.
I will tell you, it's on digital August 26th because they just announced that. So
okay, cool.
Okay.
They just literally announced, because I think now they know, like, okay, Fantastic Four's out. So that covers everything you've seen.
That's me in a nutshell.
Okay. I'm wrestling with maybe going to see Weapons. So
I do. I told my wife today I really wanted to
see that. Ironically leads us to our first email. Cassie from Yorkville, Wisconsin. Hey dudes, are any of you guys going to go see Weapons when it comes out? I know you guys talk movies and horror movies a lot, and it looks like it's going to be one of the better ones this year.
I still don't know what the fuck this movie is about.
That's the big aura for it. Like, that's the reason why I want to go. And I know, like, I could, it's a horror movie, so it could be a gamble where I walk like, boy, that was a waste of my time, but I don't think it will be. So, I don't know yet. I haven't decided yet. I got 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I may pull the trigger and go watch it one day, like at a matinee showing, because there's just something about those trailers, man. Like, it's brought me in. And like to the point now where I'm like, I just want to see what's going on. I just want to see it.
Yeah, I'm at the same point with it where I told you what my theory on the movie is, but like I kind of also at the same time want to be completely wrong.
Yeah,
and want it to be something I don't expect. So
I think that's the best thing for that movie is to be
completely wrong.
No fucking clue what's going to happen.
Yeah, and like I said, like each trailer, it just looks more and more interesting to me.
Yeah,
so
it's like
without giving anything away.
What if you go into the movie and you're watching it, and instead of anything happening with the kids, a big fucking spider just pops up and just like terrorizes?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, you know what? This makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's watch it.
Okay,
let's watch this spider kaiju fight everything. Like I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Grady from Boulder, Colorado. Hi, 572 crew. If you guys were to pull up the chart of known Microsoft games in development, which do you think are going to actually make it out, and what do you think at this point gets canceled? I will tell you, like, I know we joke about the Fable thing, but I do think that game will actually make it out. I think it's too far in development that it would be wild. Where I've seen more, I think, of that than I have of Perfect Dark.
If I have to pick one or the other, I would say yes, it's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you think it gets delayed again?
I think there's probably at least another couple months delay.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter if it comes out, it's not going to do anywhere near as well as they want it to.
No,
unless they put it on PlayStation, in which case it will be saved.
Do you think it's day one on PlayStation or no?
No. Indiana Jones. It'll be months.
Like 2-3 months, yeah.
But even then, like this game's going to have to be incredible for it to make up for this.
Well, also here's the thing: like all we know is it's just 2026. We don't have like a month or anything to go off of. It's just 2026. So what would a delay be at this point, except for moving it to 2027? It just wouldn't make sense. But I think like anything that you saw at the show this year is probably safe. You know, like that Clockwork Revolution game seems like it is a game. It's just not one that I'm interested in at all.
But it is super on the fence about it, like to the point where I'd like to play it, but I would never pay you full retail when it comes out.
No. But yeah, like other stuff, I don't know. The Perfect Dark cancellation, you know, it just seems like anything is up in the air at this point for one thing. Whereas like at the same time, where I can tell you like, yeah, I feel like Fable will make it out the door. If that was to get canceled, I don't think I would be shocked at the same time. I'd just be like, oh, I guess they're doing that, you know, kind of a thing.
I think if we get to the point where we're canceling Fable and we're canceling Clockwork, then it's the real signal. It's just, we're just done. We get ES6 out and then we just call it. Like,
yeah.
Call of Duty, and then we become a Call of Duty. All of Microsoft becomes a Call of Duty studio at that point, and we're just done. Everyone just here
pumping those out every year.
Yeah. Then
here's this cool looking fucking game, but remember the numbers based in Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
Everybody worked on Call of Duty all the time.
It's crazy to me at this point that they still put all that time, money, and effort into a new game each year, but they have that Warzone thing that makes all this money at the same time.
I don't understand.
But the game still sells every year. And also, like, I think we said it the last time, or one of the last times we recorded, is like, it literally has gone from Call of Duty to just, we make Black Ops every year.
Yeah, that's not even we make Call of Duty anymore. It's now we have Warzone running and we make Black Ops games.
We just make Black Ops because that's the one that sells the most. Mm-hmm. So it's weird. But yeah, I don't know. I just, it's more and more every day, especially when we get stuff with like, oh, hey, now we're shut down this movie and TV rental service we had for years. Like, it just really seems like
so weird.
They're shuttering this business very slowly at times.
Shutting off what they can when they can.
Yeah, and just like, we don't need to have this anymore. We don't need to have that anymore.
We don't need to waste time making Perfect Dark anymore. Kill it. We're not going to make that version of Forza anymore. Kill it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's weird. So, but who could say what else? I would say things that I think are sure bets, like Gears E-Day will happen. Whatever this new Halo project is will happen, will be good. That remains to be seen, but I think it will happen. It could very well be the last Halo project, but I think that will happen. We're supposed to see more of that in October, so we'll see what happens with that. But Gears E-Day, I think, is 100% locked in. Like, I don't think they would cancel that because they know that'll sell. And the other reason why I say that's a lock-in, just wait till we get the numbers on this Gears thing on PS5 after that launches. That's going to be a top seller for the rest of the year for that system. So there's no way in which they would cancel E-Day. So I don't know. I would hope that game's out next year because I would like a new Gears game. It's been long enough. Bob from Houston, Texas. Question is more for Kyle than the crew, but I'm curious, what happened to your other video content on the channel? Don't get me wrong, I love the podcast, keep it coming, but I've noticed, especially in the last few months, your content drip has slowed down quite a bit besides the podcast. Any games you're working on doing reviews for lately? Any plans for stuff later this year? The easy way to say it without being convoluted is life shit.
Yeah.
I have
get it together, Kyle.
Some major things going on right now personally that I'm not gonna get into here. Dan knows about it. Matt knows about it. All's fine with myself and my fiance and stuff like that, but there are other things happening that have taken up a lot of time for sure. I also have not like a semi-serious health thing, not super, like I'm not dying or anything like that, but that has taken up some of my time for sure. Once I round the corner on that, hopefully there'll be more time that I'll have devoted to getting some more stuff out. Like I would like to do a video review of Death Stranding when I finish it. I have captured footage of that game, so I'd like to get back to some of that stuff on the channel. I try to put out videos as things happen. So, but it's been busy. Also, having a new dog that you have to deal with that needs to be walked twice a day is a lot some days. So, but yeah, the biggest answer is it's just life stuff. So, but more stuff will be coming. I will definitely be doing stuff in October for Horror Fest for sure. I got some games lined up that I'd like to play. I'll do some streaming and stuff for that. It's the only time of the year I really stream anything, anyways. So that's the easiest way I can really answer that, though. Let me see. Derek from Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, Fab72 dudes. With Lollipop Chainsaw getting a sequel announcement out of nowhere, is there any dormant franchises that you'd like to see spring to life with a sequel announcement? We've had this question before in the past, but I put down obviously Dead Rising. I'd like to see a new Dead Rising if they ever decide. And I don't think we ever got like real hard sales numbers on that remake.
They probably weren't super good. And I'm sure
I don't think it was super great.
Maybe okay.
And then every time that Konami does something, I think maybe this is the time we're going to see a Castlevania thing, and then we don't. So I'd love to see something new Castlevania. And when I say that, I want something big. Like, if we already have Bloodstain and that's doing the Symphony of the Night Metroidvania thing extremely well, I want to see them do something big with Castlevania, like a big 3D, like Lords of the Shadow was kind of the last big thing that they did. And even though the sequel was not as good as the first one, I'd like to see them do something big with that franchise. So in a way, and that's a franchise that they can come back to instead of like, you look at Metal Gear, like all we can do there is just remake those games. So you can't, you could make a new Metal Gear game, but nobody would accept it.
Incredibly difficult to push that on people.
So, and they kind of tried to do that with that Survive game and it did not work. So anything for you, Dan?
So I was thinking, we talk about it a lot, but like Nintendo, it's like, where is Star Fox and F-Zero?
Like, a good one. It's like, where is it?
Like, I get that we haven't had a good Star Fox game, and I like the GameCube one. People don't, but that's it, man. Like the Wii U one.
Is that the adventure one you mean?
No,
is that the
Assault?
Okay. Assault.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like Star Fox 64 for the 3DS is really good, but like, man, Star Fox is just a dead franchise that's like gone.
It really is.
F-Zero's been gone since the GameCube. Crazy. Like these are marquee franchises. Like Star Fox, like maybe F-Zero isn't like a huge one. Star Fox is. Like
Star Fox is.
He's a major character. Like he's a default character in Smash Bros. So is Captain Falcon. Like it's strange that these don't exist. If I had to pull one out of the wall, like out of nothing, Time Splitters would be a huge one. Time Splitters 4 would be, thank God. But Freedom Fighters, that game, like old PS2 Xbox game, I love that game. I would kill to every single that game. It's just a fun, like you go to these different like parts of the map, and if you do something here, it makes this part of the map easier, and you had your squad of dudes and you command them to go do different things, and it's a really cool game that even if just a remaster I would love, but I would love like to get a new one because it's like a tactical third person shooter kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like remember Full Spectrum Warrior? Those games were cool too. Those games just had like the squad, and you would move people around and stuff. But I would kill to have either one of those.
The other one, as we're sitting here thinking about it, and like it's been rumored for a while, but it seems like it never materializes, is Splinter Cell.
Yeah, jeez, fucking.
It just seems ridiculous that we just let that sit and collect
Ubisoft's
dust.
in a fucking spiral right now.
They're in a very bad spot where like I don't like every day it seems less and less likely because of that.
That we're never going to get anything else from them ever again. That's not an Assassin's Creed game. Yeah,
right. Yeah. Anything for you, Matt?
Tenchu. I mean, I got Onimusha this year or next year coming out. Why can't you guys just give me Tenchu?
Right,
you guys doing all of these samurai games. Yeah, you got one that's sitting in the back. Just give it to me.
Yeah, I never thought that they would revitalize Onimusha. So
I really had no goals whatsoever for it. But I mean, that was like, the year prior when we had, Super Mario RPG. They decided to remake that and put it out on Switch. I was like, okay, I didn't expect them to do that. Didn't expect Onimusha.
We've been getting some weird, like the Okami thing. I never would have, a million years would have thought
that they make an Okami sequel.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it. Like, you want to do things like that's a franchise that I think would be, especially now with like, you've got like Ghost of Tsushima and that other game like Nihon, and you got these games coming out, which are like, they're not the same.
No.
Like Tenchu was a legit like assassinate type game. You literally had to creep around the entire time to like get what you needed to get. So it's like, why can't we produce something like that again?
Like you can do that kind of stuff in those other games that you mentioned, but that's not the core focus.
Exactly. And
the core focus of Tenchu was on stealth assassination.
That's exactly all that you had to do. So I mean, I don't know. I think that would be fun. I'm trying to think of another one that I really would like.
Here's what we do. When the Bond game is done, we get IO to make a new Tenchu game for you.
Just give it to me, man. Jesus.
They know how to do stealth assassination
well already. Okay, with like if you give I wouldn't mind revamping like games from like the old NES era. Like one that used to stick out to me, which I really enjoyed, was I think it's called like Guerrilla Warfare, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
You remember like those top-down style shooters that used to come up? I feel like something like that would be kind of interesting.
Would be cool today, yeah.
Yeah, like, and I mean, you could even still have the same style, top-down shooting up, just like redo something different, like it's just there's opportunities for all these dead franchises to come back, and I mean, You're giving me remakes of Resident Evil and Final Fantasy VII and shit like this. Like, why not just give me something? Just give me something that I haven't played.
At least they just keep quiet about Tenchu. It's not like with Final Fantasy where they keep doing everything they can to tease Final Fantasy IX, but then they don't do it.
Yeah.
Or they just string people along with like, here's some cool artwork to celebrate the anniversary. Here's this, here's that. Like, just fucking announce this.
Well, and I mean, like, I bought Final Fantasy IX the other day because they were talking about it online, and I was like, you know what? I'll just grab that. It's super cheap. Why not?
Right,
but it's like. And I mean, you don't even have to necessarily put a word about it. You could even give me just a Tenchu remake at this point in time. Like, I would be content with that. Just give me something else. And like, I was just thinking about it. Give me another Jade Cocoon, man. Like, I really missed that game. And like, I think
that's a good one
in a world of like Pokemon, where Pokemon is still so big, like Pal World became a big thing for a little while there. Like
Pokemon is still big. And like I've said before, and I'll say again, like, not much has been innovated there. Like it's still kind of the same formula.
What drives me bananas?
Just new Pokemon.
they are so, like, you're so desperate to continue getting money from Pokemon in general that you are literally making trash Pokemon at this stage. Like, there's a literal trash Pokemon. There's like a subset of trash Pokemon, which makes no sense at all.
Sure.
But like, there's like a Chandelier, and it's like
a Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon, dude.
Awesome.
And like, I just saw one the other day where it's literally like two swords attached.
Okay.
And they call it Duo Blade, and it's like, you're number one, stop making Pokemon. Yeah. Just stop doing it. And number two, just focus on the games, man. Like, just give us, you can remake.
I mean, that's why I was really excited about that Arceus game when they announced it. When it was like, oh, it seems like this is the first time we're really trying to mix up that formula, and then just said, but our engine is shit.
I was so excited for that because I thought it was super cool, just the way that they were doing things in that game. And I was like, okay, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. And then I played it and I was like, this is absolute fucking trash. So it's like, if you can give me something like that in a world with Monster Hunter and like the Digimon games are still being produced, like Jade Cocoon for me was just such an interesting idea behind catching monsters and like combining them to create something different. It's just like, you have the opportunities to do it, so why just not give me something else?
What was that one series that was on the original PlayStation where you would catch monsters, but you have to use like your own CDs? Like, they should do something like that again, but you can use Spotify.
That'd be dope.
Like Apple Music, because that was a cool idea. Like, I don't remember which, because they made like 3 or 4 of those, but I played one of them, and it was an interesting idea.
And it's just like, you can do like, even so, like I just saw something about games in development, and they're like talking about a Crazy Taxi game.
Yeah, and that was the thing that was announced by Sega.
Back a whole bunch of stuff like Jet Grind and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'd be cool with a Sega Taxi game. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Like,
I would love to see a new Crazy Taxi.
I got an idea for a long dormant franchise they could bring back that I really want to play now. Perfect Dark. Oh shit! Never mind.
Nice try. Gosh,
so close. Man. Or were we ever close?
No, never.
No. What percentage do you think? What percentage do you think that game was actually done? 25,
20 to 30. Yeah. I don't think very much of it was done. Yeah, I really don't think that there was that much that was done. I think a lot of that time that they spent from when they announced it to showing it was coming up with the concept and idea of how are we going to bring this game back.
Maybe they used AI to generate that footage.
I'm sure there was some AI usage in that. So early AI usage for sure. So
for sure.
Our last final email comes to us from Kirk from Dallas, Texas. Hey, crew. Does everything this year just feel blah to you? I feel anything I try to play or watch just comes off this way to me, and it has been like this all year. I was really looking forward to both Superman and Fantastic Four, and while I don't hate either movie, I just walked out of them feeling very whatever. The same has gone for games to me. Sure, the Oblivion remaster is nice, but it's just a new coat of paint wrapped around the same game in the same broken engine. Death Stranding 2 just feels like more of the same of the first game, which has really baffled me because people hated the first game and now they supposedly love it. I keep bringing that up.
Yeah.
It's so weird, though. I just feel like anything I touch turns out this way and it's left me extremely bummed out. Do any of you feel like this?
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, I felt like that this entire console generation, though, with games. Like, it just, we, and I'm not sitting here and saying we haven't gotten, good stuff this generation. We have, like, I haven't played Claire Obscure yet, but
one of my favorite games ever.
It's got to be up there. Point, but Alan Wake 2 was an incredible game that I still think about quite a bit. So
was far better than it had any right to be, being a licensed Indiana Jones game in 2024.
But I think that it has been a very weak generation of games overall. Like, even putting those things aside, there has been a lot of like longer development times for things. Obviously, I mean, in the beginning, you could easily use COVID as an excuse for it, but like as time progresses, it's just taking longer for these things to come out. More and more money's being dumped into these things as well. And then sometimes like things come out, like even still, like I say, as someone who loves Ghost of Tsushima, I thought the game was great. It was my game of the year, whatever year that game came out. I just still look at this new one and go, I don't know if I care.
Yeah, I mean,
and maybe when it comes out and gets its 9s and 10s, that it will, because it's a PlayStation exclusive. Maybe I will come around on it and play it when it eventually hits like a discount or something, kind of like I did with the first one. But I don't know, for the lead up to that game, like every time I see footage of it, that's just been my reaction of like, And I really enjoyed that first game. So, but it's just been kind of like that this generation, or like the sequels that we have gotten have been very, like, they've been good but not great. Like Horizon 2 was good but it wasn't great. God of War Ragnarok was good but it wasn't great, like the original. So, and some of that I think is just like the paint has kind of washed off a little bit from the initial game being so good. So
yeah, just there is a lot of blah, I think, and like, Captain America, blah, super blah. Like the MCU stuff.
I didn't think about that movie wise,
the MCU is really like, we talked about it before, but like we're hitting the end, like we're ramping towards the end, and it feels like we're just kind of pushing this stuff out to get it out. Like I liked Thunderbolts more than most people because I think it's a very different movie than all of these other like superhero movies have been. And but Captain America was awful. Fantastic Four at least is like getting me back into, maybe there's some hope to finish this out, because the next one is Spider-Man, which the 3 Spider-Man movies have been great. And then we've got Doomsday, which I'm into it just because it's going to have fucking everybody in it. And like
Spider-Man, like I've enjoyed all 3 Spider-Man movies, but I will say like I'm more excited for that than Doomsday, and that is simply just because Punisher is in it.
Well, and it's street level stuff. It's not end of the world type stuff.
It seems like it'll be more self-contained, like Fantastic.
Yes, and that's the best part about it. And then like the best thing to do for that is to self-contain it, and then mid-credits scene shows what's going to happen in the team up thing.
How we're going to bring him into the bigger stuff. Yeah.
But other than that, like games. Monster Hunter, I like it. It's good. It's not great. There's problems. Like the Switch 2 was very blah to me.
I someone who bought it, like it is very blah at times, or like I haven't played it that much.
By all accounts, it finally has like a killer game on it. Like everybody seems to love Donkey Kong, which it does look
for the most
fun.
part.
When your next one is that Pokemon game, that's not going to be great. Like we all know what that's going to be.
I hope Metroid Prime 4 is good.
I hope so, but
I'd like them to announce like one more thing for this. And they probably will. Like I feel like there's one more thing we just don't know about, and then in true Nintendo fashion, they'll announce it and it'll be ready for October, November. So but it does really feel like, especially with that system, that they're really keeping it close to the chest for like what's next, what big games. Like we don't really know much about what's coming for the future of that system right now. Like we haven't had a big blowout really since it launched. Like the only other direct that we've had was all focused on Donkey Kong, and that's out now. So I would assume like we're getting close to August here. We'd probably have a direct coming up, right?
Maybe like September something for all the holiday stuff. And then a dedicated Pokemon one for that.
They'll have to be a dedicated. There always is. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it just that thing has definitely been pretty blah. This, like I said, this console generation has been pretty blah to bad at times. If you look at everything Microsoft's doing, I wouldn't say that's blah. I'd say that's just bad. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference there, but it's just been very
PlayStation at least seems at this point to be getting like kind of back on track.
A little bit at times.
Well, the last State of Play was very good.
Very good.
Had a lot of like interesting looking stuff, like weird.
Had something for everybody.
Yeah, and it wasn't just focusing on, we've got one exclusive title coming, let's talk about that for 30 minutes.
Hell, they didn't even really talk about that game there. They basically said, hey, it's coming. We're going to have a separate direct.
We'll do that separately for those people. But like for this, we're going to show you all this other stuff. And like, granted, a lot of it's next year because it just is. But at least it showed me stuff I'm genuinely interested in. Like, Microsoft doesn't have that anymore. Nintendo, I'm not spending $500 to play all this stuff.
I'm into that Pragmata game being some weird fucked up reboot of Mega Man.
That'd be fucked.
I know it's not.
There's no way.
But I would be
no way.
Have you seen the combat video for it?
I have, but
I'm super into it. There's no way it is, but man, that would be cool.
Because they wouldn't not use the name. It
doesn't make sense.
They would not call it Mega Man. It doesn't make
sense. Yeah.
Like they would say it because it has brand recognition.
Nothing about that trailer or the footage they've shown tells me that it's anything related to Mega Man. That's what makes it crazy.
Like Mega Man's not an astronaut. He's a fucking robot.
A little android girl.
Yeah.
No. So how is that going to turn into Mega Man?
No.
Like, I don't know. So, but that game looks cool as hell.
It does.
It looks interesting for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. It's been, I feel like this year it's been a little more optimistic, and there's been more things that have come out that have been better than previous years, but there've definitely been in this console generation a couple years that have been kind of whatever. For sure. Like I said before, if we go back to whatever year the first Splitgate came out, that was my game of the year that year, a fucking free to play game. And then that was followed up with Vampire Survivors was my game of the year, whatever year that came out.
Fantastic.
And that's a $5 game. So that tells you just how much the tide has turned in the last couple of years. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes for sure. But yeah, I agree. There's definitely times where you feel like that. Yeah, it just feels kind of blah. So
for sure.
But that'll do it for emails. As always, send your emails into podcast572@gmail.com. Otherwise, we'll be back in another 2 weeks for another edition of the podcast. Thank you for listening or watching.
Thank you, everyone.
Stay safe.